It's car buying time now during Wolf Chase Nissan's Summer Savings Event. More cars, better offers, and bigger savings than ever before. Model year-end savings on every new 2019 Nissan in stock. Financing as low as 0% up to 60 months on select models for qualified buyers with approved credit through NMAC. Hurry in for exciting summer savings. And remember, if your car says Wolf Chase Nissan, you've got the best deal. WolfChaseNissan.com.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also keep up to date with everything going on by keeping up with Sports 56 on social media. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch for information on breaking news, chances to win prizes, and video of all the shows. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 on social media. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Sportstime with Wolo and Stacks. The first hour of Sportstime is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin and Brett Stotts Norsworthy.
Thank you, Drew Barrett, and good afternoon on this Wednesday afternoon, October 9th, 2019. Dave Woloshin out today in observance of Yom Kippur. He'll be back tomorrow afternoon. We have a fun Wednesday ahead of you leading up until about an hour from now. Cardinals-Braves, winner advances, loser goes home. Saw from the Cardinals' official Twitter site today, it said, for all the marbles today. It's just for a couple of the marbles, isn't it?
Just a few. I mean, you're not getting the whole bag of marbles.
I mean, you get 0 marbles if you lose, right?
Yes, 0.
But you don't get the Powerball of marbles if you win today, do you?
No, they're not wheeling out the Commissioner's Trophy just if you win today.
Champagne flows today and tonight for two teams. Well, tonight it would be about 7:30 finish for the Cardinals. Boy, these games do take a long time. Because there's a lot of commercials and a lot of pitching changes and a lot of, the at-bats can get very tedious, can't they? But it is for a lot of marbles, and eventually two teams will be in the World Series, I think, for all the marbles. But not to get too nitpicky with the Cardinal official site, but this is not for all the marbles. But it is very important for both teams, for the Braves to advance with a really good team, I promise you. Unless it just bottoms out for somebody and somebody jumped on the other one early and, 4 in the first, 3 in the fourth, and tack on 5 more the rest of the way. What would that equal? 12? Unless somebody does that, this has been a great series. And it's a shame somebody's got to lose, but that's sports. Somebody will be the defeated one and season will be over. And then the offseason questions will soon commence for whatever team that is. And for the Cardinals, one of the biggest questions will be what to do with Marcell Ozuna. Do you re-sign him? But that is for when it is over. We will talk with Tom Ackerman from KMOX in St. Louis at 3:30. We will not catch up with Chris Raby today as he is in Atlanta on assignment, official duties for KMOX. Tom Ackerman back in St. Louis. So we'll visit with him at 3:30 about this game and this series and this season. And it has been a fun one of really everything. It's been a fun season for the Cardinals. I want to win, but it's not one that I'm going to cry myself to sleep over if they lose, because I've really, even down the stretch of the year, I didn't think this was the brass ring year. I didn't think this was all the marbles year. In the preseason, I did. I had Yankees, Cardinals in the World Series, and then I quickly saw the Cardinal team, really saw them through May and knew that it probably wasn't that. But for the Yankees, it is that, as they're sitting back waiting for the American League winner of the DS, and that won't be decided until tomorrow, as the Tampa Bay Rays win again at home last night. And it had the Trop rocking. TJ Reeves will join us at 5 o'clock. He was there in attendance again, and it felt the goofy old Trop with the A, B, C, and D ring was rocking.
And if you watched pretty much every home Tampa Bay Rays game this year, you wouldn't imagine there were that total amount of fans that showed up last night and in Game 3.
Hard to believe. I mean, they played 7-game homestands, not in front of as many people as there last night. That's just the truth. I don't want to crack on them too hard because I know TJ's a big fan, but it's just the truth. They just have nobody there. It's horribly situated, as everybody comments on, as TJ has through the years with us, as everybody that's been there knows. I have not been to baseball there. I saw Jay Gruden quarterback the Tampa Bay Storm in arena football there in a playoff game the last time I was in that building, August of 1995.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's probably a cool moment. But I understand that it's horribly situated, but if you're an actual fan and you want to go a game, is it really that big of a struggle to where you're like, it's just located too weirdly. I can't make it. Like, if you want to go, you're going to go. And it just shows that there aren't that many people that really want to go.
And the thing about Florida, and we've really learned this with the Marlins and the Rays, Florida's baseball crazy state. It is. For Yankees and Phillies and Mets and Cardinals and Reds and Pirates and Twins and Dodgers and all those teams that have trained down there for hundreds of years, it seems like. But when they win, they do gravitate to it, and Tampa Bay's really good. I said a few weeks ago, and people that know me and listen to this show through the years, y'all know I am a baseball lover. It is my favorite sport. I think some people don't believe me when I tell them that it's just scantily more favored than college football. But if it's 1 and 2. There was a time I used to say 1 and 1A. It is 1 and 2. It is baseball first, college football second, but not that big of a separation. But baseball's first. And I said a few weeks ago, I think my favorite play in baseball is a really sharply well-executed relay. And the Rays had one last night. And that shortstop for them, Adames, is that how he pronounces his name?
I believe so.
Looks like Adams's.
But I believe it's Adames.
He may be the best shortstop left in these playoffs, and that includes Carlos Correa.
He's played really well in this series, and I completely agree. An executed relay is something of beauty.
I love them. And I really, and that one was in the middle of the field, I really love one down the line. You know, the ball kind of knocking around in the corner, either left or right field, and, you know, get it to the shortstop or third baseman if it's left field, get it to the first baseman or second baseman if it's right field, and then, on to home. And I love the execution of that. I would much rather watch that than just, somebody get up there and just belt one, 10 miles for a home run, especially in a meaningless, like 7-2 game. That last night, the 4-0 lead felt precarious for the Rays because Houston, they're that good. I mean, just 2 years ago, the champs, and just last year, defeated by Boston in the ALCS.
I mean, honestly, when Houston went up 2-0, you kind of thought it was going to be over. I thought out of the 4,
I still think it's over.
I do too. I think the Houston's going to find a way. You just can't with that amount of talent and that great pitching that they have in Houston. So when it got down 2-0, you kind of just thought, hey, maybe the Rays can be kind of plucky, keep it close, but it's probably going to be a sweep. And I thought that was probably going to be the quickest series that we had. I did not see the Twins getting swept. And I definitely did not see all three out of the 4 going the distance.
No, in the National League, both of those to go 5, the Dodgers are that good. And I threw this out a few weeks ago. I don't think it will happen. I don't think it should happen. If they lost tonight and didn't even get out of the DS with Dave Roberts, I don't think he will, and I don't think he should be fired. But doesn't that put him kind of on notice? Boy, I wouldn't start 17-31 next year.
I think it puts them on notice, and I think it puts the front office for the Dodgers in a kind of between a rock and a hard place, kind of like the Cubs have over their run of only winning one. The Dodgers haven't won a single one. So when I think about how much talent and how much money that they have spent out there in L.A., for the fact of them not to win one, and especially with the Cubs having won one, when I make that comparison, if the Cubs are ready to blow it up and start fresh, don't the Dodgers have to consider it?
Exactly. And I was saying a few weeks ago, Dave and I had some give and take on it. And, hadn't won it since '88. Is that acceptable in the Dodgers land? And he said, the Braves did. I said, they're not the Braves. The Dodgers they're right in there with the Cardinals and the Giants in the National League and the Yankees and the Red Sox in the overall picture. To not have won it since '88 and to have this run of teams for the playoffs. Here were our predictions for the Major League Baseball playoffs. We all got the wild card games right in both leagues. We got lucky as all get out in one. In the National League Divisional Series, you and Dave both took Atlanta 3-2, so they win tonight. Y'all both are correct. I took the Cardinals 3-1. It was mostly, if not all, my heart. I'm sorry. And the other side, I had Dodgers 3-1. You had Dodgers 3-1. Dave had Dodgers 3-1. The Dodgers win, we win the series. We didn't get it right on the math. ALDS, all of us had Houston. Dave had Houston sweeping. You had the 3-2, Drew.
That might have been my stretch pick because I ultimately in my heart I knew I did not think it was going to happen.
I had 3-1. I had Yankees 3-1. You had Yankees 3-1. Dave took a flyer 3-2. I'm not going to crush him for it because, look, these on these picks, it gets a little passé. Patriots, Alabama, Duke. I'm trying to think of some other sports.
Gonna finally have a little mix-up in controversy when we pick the NBA this year with Golden State not being exactly Golden State, but it's been Golden State. Now probably everybody's gonna be the Lakers.
All right, to the foremost hockey authority in the South, what's the passé hockey pick? Because they've kind of spread that thing around.
They have.
Pittsburgh.
Detroit's been one in Pittsburgh. Boston's been one lately. I don't think there is a passé hockey pick this year, especially going through before I made all my great hockey picks, not only using my own knowledge
of analysis,
but going through every single person's hockey picks. I don't think there was more than 2 teams that were picked 3 or 4 times. And I think mostly that was probably Pittsburgh and Tampa. I think they might be the Class A pick.
Las Vegas
Vegas actually, prediction-wise, was down this year. I was a little shocked, especially after really this being their 3rd year of existence, first 2 years playoffs, and one being in a Stanley Cup.
Our buddy Alan Bell is going to join us at 4:30. He's with Sportsline.com. He had been with 24/7, and he has some great content, great Twitter follow on all sports, NFL in particular. He's based in Nashville, and he's got some strong comments about Marcus Mariota and the Titans, but also on wagering. I don't bet a dime. I don't, and
I don't have a dime to bet. So.
And the thrill of victory does not top the agony of defeat for me. And I do not want to lose 1 cent. But he has some great content there. I like he sends out every Friday. What does he call it? Just kind of taking a flyer, or scatter shooting with 5 and 10 team parlays. And it's fun. It's fun to watch that. And he's got some real interesting takes on the rest of this year in the NFL. And it looks like, again, to use that word, passé, it looks like it's going to get down to New England. So we'll visit with Alan Bell at 4:30. Mention TJ, mention Tom Ackerman. At 4 o'clock, we talk Tigers with Jason Munns from the Commercial Appeal, Tiger basketball, Tiger football, as the biggest game of the year approaches Saturday morning, 11 o'clock against Temple. That's not even debatable, and it's not just because it's the next game, is it?
Honestly, I was about to say, I think even after this week, if pull it out in Philly at 11 o'clock against Temple, I think then you turn around the next week and say Tulane, biggest game. Then after that, Tulsa, biggest game. Then SMU, obviously biggest game, especially if everything works out the way that we're thinking it will.
Arguments for all of that, because Temple, I think, the best defensive front, the best overall 11. The Ole Miss front was pretty good opening day. It was.
It was.
And it played well. I don't know that it's played that consistently since then. It's played well at times, but not consistently since then. I mean, there was large swaths of the Cal game. You didn't know the defensive line was on the field. And then it played really well at times over the third and fourth quarter, the second half against Alabama, and then pretty good most of the night last week against a good back in Keyshawn Vaughn. But I think Temple presents the best personnel for the starting 11 that the Tigers will face. And then the next week, you're in a division game against, more than upstart Tulane. It's time to respect Tulane, isn't it?
I think we're getting there. I think, Tulane's sitting right now at 4-1 on the season. Obviously, that big win over Houston, which as time marches on, probably won't be as big of a win as we thought when they got it. It was a big win at the time. And I think Willie Fritz has got something going down there in Tulane. And
what about the competitive, hanging, plucky, and strong against Auburn game?
I'll give it to him. I'll give it for the plucky Green Wave.
Yeah. And I mean it respectfully.
Oh, I do too.
More respectfully than the Blitz has them listed because they are 4-1. Blitz got it 3-2. We got to get that right.
Come on, Blitz.
But UConn this week for Tulane, and then next week in Memphis, and then for the Tigers the weekend of the 26th at Tulsa. Improved. I'm not going to try to overrate that game. Be a lot of eyes on the next week in that one.
Yeah,
that'll be a dangerous game. That game may be the trap game of the year for the Tigers.
It could be, but ultimately, I think how you win that game, ultimately, if you do win the game, I think it gives you more confidence going into the SMU because of how well Tulsa did play SMU last week, taking them to 3 overtimes. If you can win in regulation by 10-14, I think you'd have more confidence going into the next game at home.
He's Drew Barrett. I'm Brett Norsworthy, and we are in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Factory Direct Pool Table and Spa Sale. Free installation on all in-stock pool tables. Free playing package, free choice of felt, pool tables as low as $12.99. Additional discounts on all in-stock spas, plenty in stock, and ready to ship. Save 20, 30, and 40% off spa accessories. Swim spa starting at $99.99. Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. I'm going to try our lineup in English since I've shot it all over the place. At 3:30, Tom Ackerman will join us to talk baseball from KMOX. At 4 o'clock, Jason Munns from the Commercial Appeal to talk Tigers, football, and basketball. At 4:30, Alan Bell on a wide range of topics, including the NFL and the Titans, and also some wagering analytics. At 5 o'clock, TJ Reeves, and we'll wrap it up at 5:45 with Taco Bell Crunch Time. This hour brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis, 2600 Ridgeway, and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Give them a call at 362-8833. Lexus of Memphis offering the Golden Opportunity Fall Sales Event. Great offers on the very few remaining 2019s as the 2020s have overtaken the lot at Lexus of Memphis. And always, they have special lease options. If you've ever thought I'd look great in a Lexus, well, guess what? Lexus of Memphis thinks you would look great in one of those beautiful cars as well. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2020 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and driving in style. Lexus of Memphis, the highest standards in the industry. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design that makes for the luxury driving experience. 362-8833, online at Lexus of Memphis. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
I'll take a swing at it first. 3 Game 5s over the course of the next 2 days now set for baseball. 2 of them today. First one starts at 4 in Atlanta. Second one in Hollywood, in Tinseltown at Dodger Stadium, Chavez Ravine later tonight. 7:37 listed first pitch. They'll hold it up a little while to try to finish the Cardinal-Brave game. You can count on it. It is a big day for the Braves, the Cardinals, Nationals, or the Dodgers. 2 teams advance to the NLCS. Champagne will flow. The party will be on. 2 good teams won't pass through. It is a big moment tonight for Steven Strasburg. Maybe his career-defining moment. 7 years since the parking him and not playing him in the playoffs when they had a chance to go for it that year. Tonight's the night to quiet every single critic. There aren't many of him, but it was more of the management doing that. And then tomorrow night, Game 5, winner, it's over for Tampa Bay and Houston. If Cards, Nats in the National League and Tampa Bay versus Yankees in the American League, you can get number 28 ready for the Yankees. They're going to win their 28. They would love to play the Rays and then get the winner of Cards, Nats. They would pound any of those teams.
They really would. And if Steven Strasburg does somehow pull it out tonight against the Dodgers, can the Nationals front office kind of go back and look and say, told you so? we thought this might happen, so they can avoid the criticism that they've taken for so long.
I don't know if it's a real in-your-face militant, I told you so, but I don't think you could tell them they were wrong anymore because they saved his arm. He had a little arm trouble. He is about the biggest. Well, Bryce Harper was real big too there, but when he pitches at home, that's pretty good gait. They saved him for a lot of out years, and they've been in the mix. I don't think you could say as dumb as it looked then, because as I said then, how do you know what the next few years are going to entail? What if he slips on the top step of the dugout and wrenches his back, never pitches? That's a extreme example, but it could happen. It didn't happen. They can say, back off, Jack. We did okay.
Yeah, but I don't think when they made the move intentionally that they thought it'd take this long for it to finally pay off.
No, I think they were counting on it. They bought a really, really, really long-term CD. Really long-term. And it's finally starting to reap some benefits. Your top story.
My top story of the day is the domino effect of the Daryl Morey tweet continued last night in Philadelphia as two fans with free Hong Kong signs were ejected from the Wells Fargo Center. The fans, they claim they did nothing wrong other than hold up their signs, while the Wells Fargo staff stated officially yesterday that they were asked to leave after several warnings and multiple complaints from guests and verbal confrontations with others in attendance, while the Sixers, they said they had no idea what happened.
There's a lot of amnesia in it. There's a lot of people just don't know anything about anything around the NBA right now.
Yeah, Sixers, Paul, they just didn't know what was going on.
Chris Paul, president of the Players Association, he's got to read up on it. He just didn't know enough about it, and I guess they don't have high-speed internet now in Oklahoma City.
I guess not. I mean, but for everybody else, you can literally just type in Hong Kong right now, spend 2 minutes, and you would know more than Greg Popovich, Steve Kerr, and Chris Paul do combined.
Quiet. It is too rich, the hypocrisy by a lot of that bunch. And what if on opening night, we're in whatever town, in whatever arena, here, opening night for the Grizzlies, a couple Friday nights from now, the crowd, I don't know if it would be 15,000 strong, but what if it got loud of free Hong Kong? What if it got loud?
They can't kick everybody out, but I don't think that would make the owner of the Grizzlies, Robert Parra, very happy.
And yet to have a statement from him, I think, to even be questioned about it.
He'd have to make a statement if that occurred because of what his company does in his relationship with China.
Are we counting on him being here opening night?
No, God.
I mean, he's about 2 for 7 on opening nights here, isn't he?
If that.
If that. The NBA has a problem, and you got LeBron James out there, who now, in effect, hadn't he and a lot of the other players, haven't they shut up and just dribbled?
They really haven't. For people that, especially the NBA, that says they want their players to speak out, they want them to be verbal, they want them to be themselves. Now, all of a sudden, I don't know if it's individually or it's starting to feel like it's been somewhat of an NBA-wide message. Hey, you're going to get asked about this. Just don't talk about it. Make up an excuse.
Buy some time.
Buy some time. It's starting to feel that way. It doesn't feel like everybody being asked just, frankly, doesn't know about it. It's got to be a NBA-wide message.
And in effect, they have shut up and just dribbled. And I defended him against that accusation of just shut up and dribble. We don't want to hear. I said, it's American to dissent. I said, they can say anything they want. Now, the repercussions can be some things they may not plan to, just like with Colin Kaepernick and the NFL protests. You can do whatever you want to. Look, the Supreme Court has ruled you can set fire to the American flag. There's a cause and effect to everything, though.
Not top story of the day.
On a much lighter subject, back to the place where the mascot was smoking a blunt. Snoop Dogg says in an interview, hey, I was just being Snoop Dogg. That's exactly what I said Monday about him. Don't be mad at Snoop. There's no need.
He was just being Snoop D-O-double-G.
That's it. That is it. And that is his character. That is his persona. That is his act. He has crafted it very well. You may not like it, but if you sign up to go to Midnight at the Fog, again, Lawrence Welk's not coming out there with bubbles and singing bedtime lullabies. We knew. Most everybody knew. No need to be mad at him. And the Kansas officials weren't mad at him, and they loved him up until the blowback. Got the pictures out there with Jeff Long and Snoop, the pictures of Bill Self with him. They loved him until the criticism. Rank hypocrisy there. And now they all run for the hills because I know Bill Self okay. I know Jeff Long well. Complete charlatan. Complete. Should be career ender.
My not top story of the day, quote, "My bad," says Richard Sherman, as he said today that he will apologize to Baker Mayfield for his
no
false
hard feelings.
Yeah, but my bad. I misconstrued. My bad. He's basically saying he's going to apologize for his false remarks about Baker refusing to shake his hand during the coin toss after the video was released yesterday. Sherman basically saying it's his fault, and apparently he remembered it wrong or explained it wrong in the press conference post game Monday night.
That wascally video.
Yeah, get you every time.
It'll get you every time when he says there was no handshake and he offended me. Went and bore in on Baker Mayfield, who probably needs a little humbling, but bore in on him pretty good about, he doesn't respect the Shield. He went the Shield.
He went on him. Not just Shield, the game itself.
The high holy grail of the game itself. And then we had the video, and they did shake hands, and it was completely contrived. And now it was satire.
They even did a handshake hug.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't take a joke, then I can't mess around with you anymore.
That's not a joke. He was fully serious Monday night.
Satire, do you again get exposed like he got exposed, like Bill Self got exposed, and like many others have, like Jay Billis and Dick Vitale on them sitting quiet about it. Anything to do with college basketball, but an opinion on everything around college football. Especially Jay Billis loves to dig at what the SEC pays baseball coaches. Hey, Jay, they make money. Those programs make, in fact, as a percentage of revenue, it's more than anything else because there ain't anything in it. It doesn't cost much to outfit a baseball team in the SEC, and these places have tapped into it. When we come back, we talk Major League Baseball. We do it with Tom Ackerman from KMOX in St. Louis. Cardinals bracing for the game with the Braves coming up in about a half hour. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Get happy with Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Weekday afternoons from 1 till 3 on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
It's happened again. Miramichi, that heaven in Woodstock, 15 miles north of downtown Memphis. Miramichi has been made the #1 public golf course in the state of Tennessee. 15 minutes from downtown, all this natural beauty, this very tough test of golf is there for you, and it's #1 again. They've improved again, too. They've made changes. They always do. They want you to have the best golfing experience you could possibly have. And they keep on making these adjustments. They've knocked down some trees. They made it easier. They have better conditions with grass. The greens, outstanding. And once again, they are #1. I also should tell you they've got new golf carts, and they've got these cool little things where you hook up your phone, it'll charge, and at the same time, you've got GPS on your phone. All kinds of innovation and a world-class golfing experience at Miramichi in Woodstock.
By now, everybody in Memphis knows that Sunrise on Jefferson offers the best breakfast in Memphis. But what you might not know is Sunrise also offers a fantastic lunch menu. The mouth-watering bacon cheeseburger, because everything is better with bacon. The grilled chicken sandwich, also with bacon. The turkey sandwich with, you guessed it, bacon. And, of course, the BLT, because sometimes bacon just has to be the star. Come to Sunrise for a delicious lunch, now with extra added bacon goodness. Bacon and Sunrise, made for each other.
Get your gun, Nellie, and saddle up Penelope. It's Western Trading Days at Sunrise Buick GMC. Old-time trading prices on over 700 new Buicks and GMC trucks, and the Sunrise Used Car Corral has over 500 in stock. Branch managers have been told to cut prices to the bone, and remember, you can bring your car to Sunrise Service no matter where you bought it. If you're a good person with bad credit, SunriseMemphis.com will help you put one of your brand on these little fillies. Free hot dogs and Cokes at the Chuck Wagon. Western Trading Days going on now at all 3 Sunrise locations. We make it fun to buy a car again.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical, not for sale to minors. Website restricted to adults 21 and over.
Let's be real. Most smokers aren't looking for some overcomplicated vaping machine. That's why we created My Blue. My Blue is simple. Our pre-filled liquid pods mean there's no mess. One charge and My Blue lasts all day. And with our range of flavors and nicotine options, you have a choice. My Blue answers on what matters for smokers. Real nicotine satisfaction. And right now, try My Blue for $1 at select retailers or myblue.com.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for football grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
AC trouble? Make your first call your last call. Call Air Doctors of Memphis, 901-598-HVAC. Owner Matt Davis is a third-generation full-service air conditioning specialist. Air Doctors of Memphis services all major brands, and labor and parts are guaranteed 100%. Their yearly AC checkup is only $60, and 24-hour emergency service is billed at normal rates. Your comfort is their highest priority. Contact airdoctorsofmemphis.com or call 901-598-HVAC.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Wolochin and Brett Norsworthy.
Tom Ackerman from KMOX in St. Louis to talk Cardinals and Braves with us. Winner moves on to the LCS. Next baseball for the defeated team will be next spring in spring training. You can message us at Sports56 WHBQ on Facebook, Periscope, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. 360-8255, our First Bank telephone number. 67129, our First Bank text line. We'd like for you to be a part of it, to respond to anything we've said, or we will respond to something you say. 360-8255 and 67129 at the First Bank telephone number and text line. Tom Ackerman indeed joins us now from St. Louis, and I know red-clad St. Louis is nervous with the game coming up in about 31 minutes or so, Tom Ackerman. I saw from the Cardinal official Twitter site, it said for all the marbles. It's not for all the marbles, but it's for the marbles to advance in the bracket.
Well, this is all they have that they know right now is to get this thing, to keep the season going. I saw the exact same post that you did, and they're right. I mean, technically they're right. It's for whether you keep your season alive or not, and they'll have to do this a couple more times if they want to win it. And if you want to win a championship, you got to win games like Monday where they won Game 4, and you got to win games like today. With the season on the line, you're going to go through them. I like the look of this team right now, obviously. Love the pitchers on the mound. Mm-hmm. And if they get through this game, you never know. I mean, a 7-game series, it's been proven now through the year that they are going to be a tough out. Can they win 4 out of 7 after they get through this? We'll see.
Yeah, and the winner of Washington and Los Angeles awaits, and a lot of the baseball world today, and I think it's the pitching. They're loving the Cardinals in Washington to advance because of soon-to-be 24. It turns 24 next week, Jack Flaherty and Steven Strasburg on the mound later tonight for the Nationals. That's how important pitching can be. But these playoffs, and every year, Tom, it proves it in the playoffs, man, you've got to have that situational guy. You got to have that one guy to get out that one guy in the 6th and survive until the 7th. And the Cardinals have had some up and down ventures with the bullpen, but on Monday it was pretty good for the Cardinals against the Braves.
Well, they're definitely not a perfect team. I mean, they have flaws and holes here and there, just like any team, but they've been able to keep it together. And some areas of the team are doing very well right now, and one of those is the middle of the order. Mm-hmm. Even though Yadier Molina's overall numbers are not at the level of Goldschmidt and Ozuna, we all know who's locked in right now. I mean, Molina had a tremendous Game 4, one of the great games of his legendary career. And if you get all of those guys going at once, sometimes you can let some things slide here and there, or the margin for error becomes what it is. I think that this team definitely has a chance. We know that there are some shaky areas, but inside there's a belief that they can get it done, and that's worth a lot.
You mentioned, I was listening to you and Chris Raby last night, and you made the point, this is really kind of the first time all year at the same time Marcell Ozuna and Paul Goldschmidt have really been big threats at the very same time for various reasons, either one cold or Ozuna out of the lineup and people pitching around Goldschmidt. This is the first time that people have had to be locked in and scared of the middle of that order. Today, Paul Goldschmidt will be batting third and Marcell Ozuna batting fourth.
It's a good-looking lineup. I think there's a little difference right now in this lineup with Matt Carpenter in there instead of Harrison Bader. Especially against Mike Foltynewicz, who had his way with the team the last time he went out. Jack Flaherty had a great outing also, just got hit that one time on that home run by Duvall. This is a lineup that I think, that little change of having Carpenter in there, left-handed bat. Bader was really struggling to hit the breaking ball. In fact, the Braves never threw him a fastball once, and they knew what he was going to have to be fed, and they were going to keep doing it over and over. So the Cardinals have a different lineup this time against Folty, and, I think there's an opportunity you put some runners on base with the way these sluggers are going right now. There's a chance you could really make something happen. I'm very, very interested to see if they can find a way to manufacture some runs early and then take it from there. If they can give Jack Flaherty something to work with, give him a lead, and see if they can't walk out of there with a trip to the NLCS.
We've got to give Chris Raby credit. He was one of the few after the Sunday afternoon meltdown that took about the last bit of spark in me out. I was about ready to retreat after that. He was the first one to infer that this feels a little bit like 2013 with the Pirates. The only difference, I think this Braves team is a much better team than that Pirates team, but he made the point, win Game 4, that one swung back to St. Louis. That's a little bit of the difference too, but it's starting to have a little bit of that feeling. We'll know for sure about 7:30 tonight, though.
Well, in a short series, and the teams are as evenly matched as they are, it's going to come down to a fifth game. I mean, I felt from the beginning this would be a Cardinals in 5, and that there was a good chance that you would split in both places.
Mm-hmm. That's what I had. I had Cardinals in 5.
Yeah, I really did.
I had Cardinals 3-1. I had Cardinals 3-1.
3-1, yeah. I thought the way that it was set up that Jack would pitch games 2 and 5, and that it would probably come down to Jack in Game 5. I think it's very even. After they lost on Sunday, I knew that momentum in this series can be flipped very quickly if you can get yourself a win. And basically, this team has been defined all year by how do they bounce back from a tough game.
I've counted them out since May.
You have Dallas Keuchel pitching on 3 days rest. I mean, there was even though he wasn't really stressed out in Game 1, it's still 3 days rest. So it's a little different of a routine. There was a chance there to get something going. Cardinals found a way, man, in that Game 4 and forced this thing. I think it's going to be something that comes right down to possibly Carlos Martinez again today.
Yeah, when he came in on Monday,
it could very well be.
Yeah, when he came in on Monday, there was some gas by a lot of people in the ballpark Monday when he came in. Tom, was it any booing?
Was there any booing when Carlos Martinez came in Game 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, big
was
time. Oh yeah.
We had the sound down in here and couldn't tell, and I was.
Oh yeah. Yeah. When Carlos came in, when Carlos started warming up, you could hear a little bit, but when Mike put Martinez in the game in Game 4, it was very loud, and you had people burying their face in their hands, and Martinez came out to warm up, and I give Mike Schilt a lot of credit for doing what he did. I really did. For sticking with his guy and for doing it again. Did I think that Carlos would get through the inning? I was a supporter of the Cardinals for many years, I hope. But I was impressed.
It was a high wire
that
act.
He went right back. I was not angry that he went back to Carlos. At that point, he didn't have a whole lot of options left.
No, he didn't.
That's the guy that got you there. Now, it was a very significant development because if Carlos has a short memory and he can say to himself, this is who I am, I'm that Carlos Martinez. I'm the one who came out there in a tough situation, top of the order, and got the 3 outs that I needed, and I have the best catcher in the world receiving the ball, and I was locked in. If that's the Carlos Martinez that you're going to be working with, the Cardinals are dangerous. And so that's really an important move, one of the better managerial moves that Mike has had, as it turns out, and he was heavily criticized very openly at Busch Stadium from the fans for doing it, but it worked.
It would have been if he had blown it Monday, or if he blows it tonight in relief, it's going to be a winter of discontent with a lot of people. But Mike Schilt has made a lot of things work this year, and I think the Schilt detractors, and Tom, I have been one, not too vocally on these airways, but I have been more off. But I guess I'm now on the air telling that I have been. This is just his first full year, and look at the things that he's already put his imprint on in the positive. You told us when you joined us on Monday, March 25th, in town for the exhibition game against the Redbirds, how much better defensively this team was going to be, and it has been. That's Mike Schilt. Is also going out and getting players, a player like Paul Goldschmidt that you pointed out that day in that interview with us, that he would lock throws down at first that others had trouble with. But Mike Schilt has had a lot of very good things happen in this first full year as skipper of the Cardinals.
I think a great example would be that I talked to him after everything was done, after Game 4, and most people had left the ballpark, and he was just about to sit down and finish his evening. And I went into his office and congratulated him on the win. And I asked him one more quick question. He said, go ahead. And I said, does anybody stand up and say something to the team, player-wise or anything like that, when you're faced with an elimination game? And he said, Tom, or I said, is this business as usual around here going into this Game 4? What was it like? And he said, Tom, we have to keep things as normal as possible. You normalize what you're doing and you continue to prepare. And of course, we all understand the magnitude of the game, but it is a baseball game. And, he said, if you make it bigger than it is, then, that's not the way we're going to operate. And I think that's kind of how he's been all year. He understands the importance of it, but he also has great respect for the game that he's playing and the moment that he's in. He does have big picture. He looks at the entire season, but he also keeps his players present in the moment. And I think that he has a very quiet confidence about him that the team has really jumped on board and grabbed along with him. He's a confident leader. He treats the players like men, but he also treats them like his family. He tells them openly that he loves them, that they're a blessing to him. But he also demands focus and excellence from them. He does not sugarcoat things. I think he's very much a straight shooter. I think he says it exactly how he feels. But he also, at the same time, he's not overly loyal to somebody. I think that he shows a lot of trust in someone's ability. And I think that sort of carries over to the players where they start to trust their own stuff or their own approach at the plate or their glove or what have you. As a coaching staff, their ability to do their job too. It really has worked out. This guy's a leader. He is. I mean, he's a different kind of leader. He's not going to bark at you. He just makes it happen.
He just makes it happen. There's a off chance that I see you Sunday. A lot of things have to happen. It is a convoluted set of circumstances, and I almost don't want to wish this on people, but here's the thumbnail sketch. Cardinals
All right.
win, Nationals win. The forecast Friday in St. Louis it's terrible. 90% all-day rain. Game 1's rained out. Game 1 instead played Saturday night. Game 2 Sunday. Me on my way back from Columbia, Cardinals, Nationals, Sunday night, Busch Stadium, downtown St. Louis.
You thought this through. Wow.
Yeah,
I like
I have.
that. You know what? I'll tell you what. There's a chance that could happen.
There's a
I
chance.
mean, the Cardinals win this game. I think the Nationals win tonight.
I do too.
I think the Nationals are going to beat.
The
I think
flaw
the
in that
Nationals are going to beat the
is
Dodgers.
I hate to wish rain on people because I know how disruptive holding a playoff or World Series ticket can be for the rain out and then, what game's what and trying to make it up and, tacking on hotel rooms. So I don't want to wish that on the good people that might be there Friday night. But you could see me Sunday, Tom Ackerman, and I look forward to it. Thank you for your time today.
Hey, you know what? The rain, that's part of the game. Might have won the Cardinals a couple big ball
Against
games
the Braves.
in the past, I think.
Yeah, in 82 against the Braves, the rain out was big. Thank you, Tom. Enjoy the game tonight.
Hey, appreciate it very much. Great talking with you.
You got it. Tom Ackerman with KMOX in St. Louis. 67129 at the First Bank text line. And a texter makes a great point for the big boys for the Braves. Freddie and Donaldson have to step it up tonight and help Acuna and Dansby out. Go Braves. This is the time for the big boys, the big checks, the commas and the zeros to come through for you. I mean, and if that happens and you lose, tip your hat. I promise you, most of my sentiment tonight when the game's over, again, regardless, unless it just bottoms out and it's 16-1 Braves, something like that.
Which I'm 99% sure it won't be.
But even then, congratulations. Go get them in the LCS. Great series. That's really what I mostly feel about this series. Cardinal lineup will be this. The batting order will be Fowler, Wong, Goldschmidt, Ozuna, Molina, Carpenter, Edmund, DeYoung, Flaherty. So made the offense move for Carpenter, playing him at third instead of Edmund at third, and Bader in center and Fowler in right. So they went offense with Carpenter. His defense can be shaky wherever you put him, first, second, third, wherever you put him, but trying to go for a little more offense to start the game. And then you can bring Bader in, late inning, spark plug guy, steal a base, and for a defensive maneuver late in the game for Harrison Bader, who just hadn't hit anything at all. Been telling you about Harry's all year, and I love shaving with Harry's. Look, we've tried everything. Humans have been shaving for over 5,000 years, and we tried it all. But we got to keep it simple. The ancient Greeks, they didn't need flex balls or heated handles, and neither do you. That's why Harry's doesn't add gimmicky features to their razors. They focus on the qualities that actually matter for a close, comfortable shave, and they never upcharge. You get a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Use offer code STATS at harrys.com. I love the close shave and easy glide that you get with that shave from Harry's, and I love the low price. It has made shaving so much easier and so much better, and every time I pack to go on a trip, I make sure to pack my Harry's shave kit. Harry's has returned to the essential, quality, durable blades at a fair price, and Harry's is a brand you can be very proud of. 1% of sales donated to organizations that provide access to mental health care for men. Harry's has an amazing offer for listeners of our show. New customers get $5 off a trial set from Harry's with code STATS at harrys.com. That means you get a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, foaming shave gel, and travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping when you use code STATS at harrys.com. Go to harrys.com today. Use code STATS at checkout to claim your offer. When I shave with Harry's. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find Real Sports Talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
It's hot outside, and James Davis Men's Store is filled with new deliveries that are on fire to match the fall heat. The selection of 5-pocket pants in every fabric and fit is out of control. They have denim, cotton twill, brushed cotton, and wrinkle-free travel wool. And every one with that 2-way stretch that moves with you no matter what you're doing. The brand new stamped cotton shirt fabrics for fall are in. I dare you to try one. 3 measurements, 9 days. They start at $98. Perfect perfect fit. If you're tired of being the worst dressed at the pregame party, let James Davis fit you now with a perfect fit, custom made to measure showstopper coat. It starts at $6.95, and James Davis still has the Paul Batenley suit deal, 2 incredible suits for $7.95. Wedding parties? Don't rent tuxedos. Get a perfect fit classic or trim fit that someone can wear again. James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center. Always incredible service, same-day alteration, and the home of the perfect fit.
And this corner is Bob, the Beast of Bar Graphs, using Dayquil Severe to face off against his cold. Bob's cold was coming at him from all sides. Head, chest, right nostril, left nostril. Oh, Dayquil Severe! What a game changer! He's out of his bed sheets, wrecking his spreadsheets, bodies slamming his sales reports. With Dayquil Severe, Bob's cold is out cold.
Dayquil Severe, the daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, sore throat, power through your day medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hi, folks. Rob Walker, Infinity of Memphis, and we've got a new Infinity crossover vehicle that has raised the standard of comparison to a new level. Imagine having both sports car performance and eco-friendly efficiency on demand, working together to empower every driving experience. The result of 20 years of engineering, QX50's award-winning variable compression turbo engine is the world's only engine of its kind. Like 2 engines in one, it delivers a combination of power and efficiency that is truly in a category all its own, and only Infinity has it. You'll never sacrifice performance for the sake of efficiency again. And QX50 MSRP starts at only $36,550, which is less than its Acura, Audi, and Mercedes competitors. Add to that QX50's award-winning sumptuous interior, and you have the best combination of performance and comfort in the mid-size crossover segment.
MSRP excludes destination charge, tax, title, license, and options. Infinity of Memphis or online at infinityofmemphis.com.
In today's evolving workplace, XMC understands the process of getting office work done has moved from the desktop to your pocket. The new Xerox multifunctional printers and Connect Key app technology are game changers. Are you working with confidential information? Does it need to be secure from unwanted threats? Do you need to translate documents to another language? Xerox's App Gallery provides solutions like secure printing and easy translator technology. XMC is the second largest exclusive Xerox agent in the U.S. with 9 locations to serve you. We've been in business for over 25 years and have received top awards from Xerox. In changing our world one experience at a time, our team's committed to doing what's right for your business. XMC is proud to be your leader in document and print management, and it'd be our pleasure to serve you. Contact XMC today at 888-814-3114 or visit our website at xmcinc.com. XMC, excellence in office solutions.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
What comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together, so the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner.
Are y'all gearing up at the Rendezvous for the holiday season?
We've got ribs, shoulders, nacho boxes. We're stacking them high. The elves are working hard getting ready for the Christmas season. You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous Restaurant in the alley since 1948.
Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
We like to party. I think anybody who's watched any of the Grizzlies so far are just anxious with anticipation to watch the rookie season of Ja Morant and the flourishing, we hope, into superstardom right here in Memphis in his career. I want that badly. I can't wait to the next march to the playoffs. It's going to be a while. It will not be at the end of the 19 and 20 season, and I'm braced. It won't be at the end of the 20 and 21 season, really. Springtime 22 is about the next time I'm really thinking, maybe as the 6th, 7th, 8th, whatever seed they might be. But a long time to go before we get there. But so far, against these two opponents, for what it's been worth. Everybody's excited about Ja Morant, and he has brought an air of hope to town, and that's what we often need as much as anything else in sports. But I've talked about through the years the little bit of a pass that the Grizzlies get on a lot of things, and I think we're seeing it play out once again. And I want to give it to him. I'm for fresh starts. I'm certainly for not mistreating someone. But through the years, if you had just done the Rorschach test, just the word association of Grayson Allen, I think most of the first responses would have been more of one on the pejorative, negative side. It would have had something to do with Duke in a not very good light, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, the word punk would have been thrown out a lot.
And that would have been on the tamer side. Now, just everywhere you go around town, the metamorphosis of Grayson Allen, he's changing before our eyes. That's, again, more of the Grizzlies. And I think the larger, and you're seeing it a little bit in the national media for the NBA, the pass the NBA gets on a lot of sticky subjects. Brady White gets more criticized than most members of the Grizzlies.
By 1,000%.
Brady flipping White gets more criticized than most members of the Grizzlies.
I think he gets more criticized than all of them times 10.
And all those guys get a check with commas and zeros, and Brady doesn't. And he just kind of the town pinata.
It really has been. I mean, it seems like regardless of what Brady White does, it's not good enough.
Not enough.
It's not enough. He
goes for 270. We wanted 380.
He goes 14 of 18. Why wasn't it 17 of 18?
Win, not enough.
No, it never seems like it's enough. But here, Grayson Allen can go out there and play two mediocre teams from overseas, and he's the greatest thing to touch the Grizzlies' court since Zach Randolph.
The Memphis transformation happening again before our very eyes for Grayson Allen. Kind of like through the magic Alabama injury tent. They go in there with 2 broken legs and come out fresh. It's unbelievable to be at an Alabama game and watch them struggle to that injury tent and come out a new person. Come out Superman out of the other side of it. And we're making that transformation for Grayson Allen almost that excuse. I want to be fair. And I mostly want here in local to do well. I want Grayson Allen to do well for the Grizzlies, but let's not make him, poke pies out of all this. And darn if some aren't trying to do it.
No, I completely agree. I mean, in recent memory, the only Grizzly that's ever really gotten, I guess, justified criticism would be Chandler Parsons, and he was never on the court to defend himself. Really,
it took a while before he got to that. I mean, this time last year we were still holding out. Well, if he could, just play a little more.
He could just string a few together
and knock some threes down. And I think the NBA nationally gets that. We'll get into more of that, but the level of criticism that's directed at the NFL for any slight compared to the NBA. The NBA is almost like it's, the fifth dimension, Age of Aquarius, and Incense and Peppermints by Strawberry Alarm Clock always playing is kind of the under music around them. In NFL, everything is bad. It's leading to all these bad things.
As far as professional leagues go, the NBA still would be considered the new kid on the block. It's still young, it's still fresh, it's cool,
and it's a great product. But I don't think it's treated fairly by a lot of people in the comparison to other things. We come back, we start hour 2. We talk Tigers with Jason Munns from the Commercial Appeal. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. Did you pay a big repair bill on your existing heating and air conditioning system this year? Is your energy-guzzling heating and air conditioning system on its last leg and you think it's worth nothing? Good news, it's buyback days at Conway Services. We'll buy back your repair bill this year up to $1,500 toward the purchase of select Carrier Infinity systems. That's right, we'll buy back your repair bill up to $1,500, even if we didn't do the repair. Just show us your repair receipt from any company and we'll buy your repair back. If you didn't have a repair bill this year, we'll give you up to $1,500 trade-in on that old energy-guzzling system toward the purchase of select Carrier Infinity systems. When air conditioners get old and inefficient, the cost of repairs and high utility costs could almost pay for a new system. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old heating and air conditioning system will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call
384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Hi, this is Troy Five Ash, owner of Five Ash Roofing. As most of you know, I don't have a history of bragging or boasting that Five Ash Roofing is the best roofer in the Memphis area, but did you know we are the only diamond level roofing professional in the area? We are one of very few local roofing companies that have been in business for 20 years. We've never had a justified claim against us. We are locally owned and family operated. Our labor warranties are for the life of the shingles. We're experts in insurance claim. We do residential and commercial work. We are the official roofer of the University of Memphis Athletic Department and a proud member of the Tigers home team. We support local youth sports and St. Jude's. We have worked with churches and veteran services to help those in need by providing services at a deep discount or even for free. We are currently working with Young Life to give them a free roof on the historic log cabin in Germantown. Five Ash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing. It's what we do. We're here for you.
If you're someone that enjoys a truly great steak, then there's only one choice for you downtown. 117 Prime. 117 Prime has lots of different things on the menu, but the main attraction is the steaks. Prepared by chefs that love a great steak, you can choose from the 5 or 10 ounce fillets, the 16-ounce prime, the 8-ounce top sirloin cap culotte, or the 14-ounce New York strip, or the king of them all, the 24-ounce dry-aged porterhouse. You heard that right, 24 ounces of the best steak you've ever tasted. If you're craving steak, then head downtown to the steak experts. Head to Prime.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
And now, a page from the diary of Flo.
Dear Diary, there's something about protecting people's homes through Progressive that inspires me, because I just had an idea for a book. Well, it was originally an idea for a movie based on a play inspired by a podcast. But the idea is how you can save when you bundle home and auto. Might not be the best idea for a book.
Save an average of 17% on car insurance when you bundle home and auto through Progressive.
Maybe a radio commercial? Guess we'll never know.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
125 seasons of Ole Miss football.
Caught by Deuce, he may go.
Under
Dexter
center.
breaks a tackle.
Mike Wallace between two defenders. The tradition continues.
He's to the end zone. Touchdown, Ole Miss. Breaks a tackle. He's gone down the sideline. Touchdown, Ole Miss. He is a beast.
Saturday, Ole Miss takes on Missouri. Pre-game coverage starts at 4 p.m. with kickoff at 6 on your home for the Rebels.
Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Dave is out today. He'll be back with us tomorrow. Look forward to that. We'll have him in here tomorrow before he leaves Friday, bound for Philadelphia, with his duties with Tigers Radio, bright and early on Saturday, 11 o'clock kickoff at the Eagle Stadium, Lincoln Financial Field in South Philly to play the Temple Owls. And I think Temple is the best opponent so far this year, and not just because it's the next game. I think they're a very talented team. That coach, help me, Rod Carey, came from Northern Illinois, first year. Rod Carey, coach at Temple, first year from coming over from Northern Illinois, and the building blocks were there. You remember Manny Diaz had that job for about 38 seconds, and then he got the U and did what all of us would do. You could take a stab at your first head coaching job at Temple or at Miami, you head to Miami. and he did that. I wonder if he's regretting it a little with the struggles of you. But Temple having a good year to talk about the football team and the Tigers men's basketball team from the Commercial Appeal. Our buddy Jason Munns, and we're glad to visit with you, Jason Munns. The whole basketball world has been in through Memphis in the last few days between scouts and Jay Billis and the buzz around Tiger basketball. It hadn't subsided an ounce since bringing all the smoke at Madness. It's only increased, hadn't it, Jason?
It has been truly Hoop City, has it not? For
it
the
has
past
been.
week.
And
yeah.
I can tell from knowing you and texting back and forth with you, you love being on this beat at this time, and why wouldn't you?
Oh God, well, yeah, no, I mean it's a privilege, and it has been fun, and it will only get better, I think. However you look at it, it's only going to get better. I mean, I'll be honest. I love being on a beat, period. But this one here is it's you can't ask for much more than what's going on in Memphis.
I know it's been said to you, and it's been said many times, especially when it's like this, and it is like this.
It is. It's
when it's like this, you're like you're on a pro beat.
Yeah, it does feel that way. I mean, especially since exactly how you sort of led into this, there was 80 or 90 NBA scouts /
the who's who,
front office executives. I mean, we were sitting in the practice facility. I guess it was Monday afternoon, and these guys and ladies were just sort of streaming into the front door as we were waiting to be allowed into the onto the practice court. And, we finally go in, and then you look up and you see Zach Kleiman, and you see Tayshaun Prince, and you see Chris Wallace. I mean, those were the most recognizable guys to me. Mm-hmm. And so, if they're there, then of course every other NBA team's got at least one person there. So it really was a who's who.
Okay, 90 people credentialed. That's about 3 per team.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not 100% sure if it was 90 that day at that particular time, because Memphis opened up its practice Tuesday to scouts and front office people and certain national media and things like that. So I think it may have been 90 total. It was closer to 70, I think, that first day.
70, 90. It's still a lot of people.
Once you get past 25,
exactly,
I think you're doing good.
Exactly, and Coach Hardaway with the preseason proclamations, he's not backing down from any of those. And why would he? I mean, you look at those players, all those NBA scouts can't be wrong coming in here in that number. This team is that loaded.
Yeah, and I mean, you asked the question right there in the beginning. Why would he back down from these things? And I guess the only answer I can come up with is if he thought his players couldn't handle it, then he might back it off. But the fact that he hasn't, mm-hmm. I think, speaks volumes about what this team can, where this team's mindset is at. They love this. I mean, it seems to me they absolutely love having the target on their back, having the expectations as high as they are. And that's, I don't know about anybody else. If I were in a fan's shoes, that would excite the ever-living heck out of me.
and I think they are excited, as evidenced by the crowd at Memphis Madness. You did you worked on a story behind the scenes leading up to Madness, all the different meetings, all the different people that everything that it runs by. And Jason, not just because it's the hometown Tigers, and I'm not trying to find another reason to pick on Kansas, but what happened at Kansas did not happen here. In some of those meetings, did you ever hear, all right, let's try this, or edgy on that? Because every game ops people now. Since the wardrobe malfunction, everybody's on guard. Can't have something like that happen. Did you hear it voiced? All right, let's try this, let's try that. I'm not talking about pole dancers, but let's make sure that we give a little more to this.
I wouldn't say so. I mean, I think when I was brought into the, at the stage of the process where I was introduced, I think they had pretty well mapped out, where they were going to go, exactly, or at least the tone that they were going for. Mm-hmm. And so if any of that stuff had to be ironed out, and I don't know if it was or not, then it probably, if it did, it happened before I was able to be part of that process. But no, anything that was discussed when I was around, it was all mainly just, how do we, in what order do we want to do things? What, it was all procedural. It was much more procedural.
And it went off very well. And I have been told that Coach Hardaway very involved in all the planning. Is that accurate?
That is absolutely accurate. I wouldn't say that he is. I wouldn't say he's calling the shots, and I wouldn't say that he is that everything has to be approved by him. But I would say the majority of what happens at Memphis Madness, it at least is run by Coach Hardaway. And I was never privy to any scenario where this detail or that detail had to be changed or nixed or whatever, because it was something that Penny didn't like or whatever. But I do know that he's definitely heavily involved. His thumbprint is, what you saw has Penny's thumbprint all over it.
And it went off very well. We're visiting with Jason Munns from the Commercial Appeal, who's your coverage, your content of everything Tigers, especially leading up to this, what we think will be a historic season. It has been great, and you're going to have so much to write all year. You're a little bit like me, though. Okay, a lot of the smoke's been brought, and there's been a lot of lead up. Get me to November 5th and a real game against South Carolina State. I don't think I've ever wanted to see South Carolina State more in my life, Jason.
That's I don't know. I kind of like being able to sort of plot my own course, if you will. I mean, once we get to the season, a lot of what I'm going to be doing is going to be dictated by what's going on, the
wins
games
and the
who they're playing and when they're playing and where they're playing and all that stuff. Like I'm going to be writing about that. This way, I get to sort of, like I said, I get to sort of pick my own course, and so I like that in a sense. But at the same time, yes, there has been a lot of buildup. There's been a lot of hype.
A lot of smoke.
There's been a lot of a lot of smoke. And a lot of talk, and let's get to the real thing now.
But like you said, we are in the talking business, and I say it every August on the run up to college football. I know some that just can't stand the college football run up. I love it. Everybody's undefeated. Everybody's happy. Last year, if it's bad, it's a distant memory. If it's good, you still got your bowl gear you're wearing and you're ready. So this run-up has been fun, and it's been an historical run-up. Not even John Calipari's 07-08 team had this run-up, and I can assure you 72-73 didn't. 84-85 was, I thought, closer to this run-up to any other season. 07-08, they were just so good. It wasn't anybody. It was no anxiety. It was no even any trepidation at all. People thought they were going to go 40-0.
Yeah, well, I mean, you brought up the 80-45 season. I mean, they were coming off 3 straight Sweet 16s, and they were bringing everybody back.
Everybody back,
much.
And that wasn't just to any teams. That was running into Pat Ewing and running into Akeem Olajuwon way too often.
Yeah, so I could understand where that one had some decent run up, but no, I mean this one, this season. It really began in earnest, did it not? Back in November when James Wiseman committed. I mean, the season had just started the 18-19 season had just started, and James Wiseman announces his commitment on ESPN and all that, and I really believe that is when the smoke began to build, and so yeah, it's we've been talking a lot about this coming up season for a long time, and it has been fun.
I have said I think breakout night. So South Carolina State in the opener on the college basketball kind of universal opening night. Not everybody, but most everybody's opening that night on Tuesday night, November 5th. South Carolina State at home, and then on that Friday night, just a few days later, will be UIC, and then the road trip to Portland, neutral. Yeah, but it'll be an Oregon crowd there. I think that's breakout night nationally for the ones that have maybe been guarded, the national analysts that have been show me, don't tell me. I think that is the night. I've called it for a while. I got a lot on the line about it. Tigers go out and lose by 17. I'll look plenty foolish, and they won't look very good either. But if they go out and just win or win handily, then that's the marker being laid down nationally.
Yeah, undoubtedly, that is the Oregon game is most certainly the probably going to be the best opponent that they see all season long. I mean, maybe Cincinnati, but that early in the season, that far away from home, that is without question the one that the most people are going to be paying attention to. But then you turn right around and you get Ole Miss at home on November 23rd. I mean, of course, everybody's been talking about the December 14th game in Knoxville against Tennessee. Two very big games, and not that doesn't even we haven't even mentioned the Georgia game on January 4th when is it Anthony Edwards? Yeah, Anthony Edwards is coming to town. Yeah. So you've got the number 1 and number 2 recruits going head to head.
And Tom Crean
recruits.
Exactly. I mean, a proven coach. That's the day. I didn't have any last year. I went into the year last year wondering, what kind of X and O guy, what kind of make or stop, 15 seconds to play coach would Coach Hardaway would he be? I didn't see anything last year that scared me. I didn't see anything last year of, oh my goodness, that's a little big for him. Quite the opposite. Nothing dissuaded me from going, yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and I mean, he stood toe to toe with Greg Marshall, and I mean, the AAC's got some good coaches.
Rick Barnes.
Greg Marshall and Rick Barnes, Kelvin Sampson back over over at Houston, Mick Cronin at Cincinnati. He held his own. Penny did against some pretty big names in the coaching world, and you got Kermit Davis,
sure,
his Rebels on the schedule this year. As you mentioned, Tom Crean. So it is going to be, yeah. I mean, he didn't do anything last year to make anybody think, he's out of his element.
Those games against Fran Dunphy, I thought that was pretty nice.
Yep, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly.
To football, there's a very real chance that game on Tuesday, November 12th in Oregon, that will be the second or third week of the poll. So after the Tigers win that one, when the AP college football and basketball polls are released the next week. So I guess that would be Monday the 18th. Higher ranked, Tiger football or Tiger basketball?
Are we assuming Memphis beats Oregon?
Tigers.
Then it's got to be
they're undefeated in everything. Football, basketball.
Got to be the basketball Tigers. And that's not I think they're going to start higher. I think Memphis basketball is going to already be in the in the AP poll, and so and then of course if you beat Oregon, then that's going to be a very loud statement. I'm not so sure that anybody left between now and then on the football side would be as loud of a statement as that, but they may be pretty close. I mean, it may not be like I'm not saying the football Tigers are going to be 20th and the basketball Tigers are going to be like 7th or anything like that, but it could be, it'll be closer than that, I feel like.
Do you know how fun around here would be on that Monday? And the football poll gets released on Sunday afternoon. Ralph Russo lets that fly about 1:15 on Sunday, our time. the basketball poll is kind of a later in the day Monday thing. That's right. I'm right on that on the timeline, Jason, on the basketball.
Sounds right to me, yeah.
From AP. Are you an AP voter?
Mm-hmm. No, I am not.
Well, you should be. But anyway, it's more of a later Monday thing. Can you imagine heading into mid to late November and you look up and see Tiger basketball 6th and football 13th?
No, I can't. And I'm glad you brought that up.
I want to see it. I'm looking forward to it.
Well,
I
was going to ask you. Tell me what you think it would look like.
I can't. Crazy town. Good fun, crazy town. And, I know we didn't have you on to talk about the Grizzlies, but I think that will insulate the Grizzlies a little bit this year in this rebuild and this climb back up. I don't think there'll be quite the scrutiny on them if Tiger basketball is rolling along well and Tiger football into that kind of bowl game commensurate with that kind of season. I think that'll be good for the kind of the attitude around town on that front. And look, I'm in the sports business. I want good things around here.
For sure, yes. It makes our jobs a lot easier when things are going well. And I mean, look, they've sort of established. It's already been established that the Grizzlies, whatever happens this year, happens. It's not necessarily a rebuild, but it's at least it's sort of a growing pain.
It's a rebuild, Jason. Yeah,
yeah. But
tomorrow night, will you cover the Memphis Sports Hall of Fame banquet and ceremony?
Unfortunately, I won't. My good friend and colleague David Cobb will be there.
Well, good. Well, David would knock it out. I know y'all did the big Memphis 200 piece. I thought you might be there for that ceremony. Looking forward to that. Dave will be there tomorrow night for us. Jason, thank you so much for your time today. Look forward to visiting with you a lot more as we get closer and closer to this anticipated good time. It is good times, and that makes it a lot more fun. Thank you.
I can't wait. Appreciate it.
You got it. Jason Munz with the Commercial Appeal on all things Grizzlies. I am not making this up. Bases loaded, top of the first, 1 out. Cardinals have already plated 5. Max Fried in to pitch. Wow. Who saw this coming? Max Fried, a high school teammate with Jack Flaherty at Harvard Westlake in West Hollywood, and also help me with the first name, the good pitcher for the White Sox. Is it Carlos Giolito?
I believe so.
All 3 of them on the same high school team. Who'd they lose to?
Nobody.
Wow. And Dexter Fowler with a base hit and runners everywhere. A relay race in Atlanta. Paul DeYoung scores. Now 7-0. Bases still loaded, and the Braves have not come to bat. I didn't see this happening. I really did not. Cardinals off to about as good a start as you can imagine and handing it over to Jack Flaherty. 360-8255, our First Bank phone line, 67129, our First Bank text line. Love telling you about First Bank. We love being associated with them. We thank them so much for their help and their support with us. Newer to Memphis, but not to Tennessee. First Bank, 3rd largest bank headquartered in Tennessee, 75 offices, 58 full-service branches, 1,400 associates, and 4 great locations in Memphis. In Germantown, a branch in Germantown, a branch by International Paper on Poplar, one on Highway 64 in Bartlett, and one on Highway 64 in Oakland. You will deal with experienced Memphis bankers that you know, that you trust, that you see around town, that you're associated with around town, whatever it is, whether it's sports or at church or in leisure, whatever it is. You see them around town, you know them, and they'll get to know you. You'll get an answer from them about your loan or your business right here. You don't have to depend on them waiting to see what Birmingham does or Atlanta does or Nashville or Knoxville. They'll make the decision about your business right here in Memphis. Visit firstbankonline.com for more information. First Bank, they have stories and a record of customers reaching high. Community banks with a preferred lender, of people building a success story. Build your success story with First Bank. Again, visit firstbankonline.com. It is an utter nightmare for Braves fans. I thought it would be a classic. It's 9-0 in the first. Still just 1 out. Paul Goldschmidt now at bat for the Cardinals. And the Braves deserved the season to end better than this. Take no glee. And that I wanted my team to win, but I sure didn't see this happening today. The Cardinals have to now get 27 outs to get ready for an LCS. When we come back, we talk the NFL, we talk analytics and wagering with Alan Bell, now with Sportsline.com, formerly with 24/7. We do that next. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Take Sports 56 with you on your phone or tablet. Download our official Sports 56 app today.
You're scrambling around. You need a haircut. Where you gonna go? I got a place that has 15 locations. I've got a place where details matter. I've got a place that can be invigorating and relaxing at the same time. You know what it is. It's Supercuts. Every haircut ends with the signature hot towel finish. Every haircut matters. When you're getting ready, you go into Supercuts. The stylist will pay attention to every detail. So you get the haircut you want, and, of course, you're going to finish with that signature hot towel. You walk out clean, sharp, and not just ready, but super ready. And you might want to ask that hairstylist about what the tea tree experience is. One part invigorating, one part relaxing. The tea tree experience is something you need to try. 15 locations. I mentioned that, didn't I? All you've got to do is go to supercuts.com. You'll find the one nearest to you. Get super ready at Supercuts.
Is imitation the sincerest form of flattery? Not when it comes to your car audio. Stereo One is the leader in car audio, remote starts, security, and more for the past 30 years. Stereo One is proud to announce the grand opening of their new location, 1983 Covington Pike, across from the Honda dealership. To celebrate their new location, Stereo One has marked down their entire inventory. Remote start systems at $129. With free installation. Subwoofer base packages start at just $199. Window tint starting at $129. The entire inventory of radios and touchscreens with features like Apple CarPlay, Bluetooth, and backup cameras are marked to go. Check out Stereo One before you buy online. Their knowledge, friendly sales staff, and pro installation team will take care of you. Visit the Stereo One new location today, 1983 Covington Pike, across from Honda, or visit their mega store at Mendenhall and Winchester. Make sure you go to the originators and not the imitators. Stereo One is still the one for your auto accessories.
Starlight Lounge presents An Evening with the Progressive Box.
Adios, old friend. Yeah, I've got no secrets and no regrets. Well, a lot of regrets, but the point is I've got nothing to hide. Kind of like the way Progressive shows you their competitors' rates. You gotta put it all out there, baby. Excuse me, miss. Does this heart belong to you? Would you like it anyway?
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparisons not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Hi, folks. Rob Walker, Infinity of Memphis, and we've got a new Infinity crossover vehicle that has raised the standard of comparison to a new level. Imagine having both sports car performance and eco-friendly efficiency on demand, working together to empower every driving experience. The result of 20 years of engineering, QX50's award-winning variable compression turbo engine is the world's only engine of its kind. Like two engines in one, it delivers a combination of power and efficiency that is truly in a category all its own, and only Infinity has it. You'll never sacrifice performance for the sake of efficiency again. And the new QX50 offers more horsepower than its Audi, Lexus, and Mercedes competitors. Add to that QX50's award-winning sumptuous interior, and you have the best combination of performance and comfort in the mid-size crossover segment.
Infinity of Memphis, and online at infinityofmemphis.com.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for football grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build-your-own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Cardinals hit the Braves with 10 as in Bo Derek in the top of the first. 10-0 over the Braves before the Braves have come to bat. We're going to visit with Alan Bell with CBS Sportsline, and he is just the content that he puts out at CBS Sportsline and at his Twitter site. It's amazing on analytics, trends, sports, wagering, gambling, and on NFL, college football, college basketball, baseball, everything. And I'm going to start with this, Alan Bell. I'm going to start with good afternoon. How are you, sir? Thank you for joining me.
Man, I'm doing good, buddy. Appreciate you having me. You doing all right?
I'm doing great. Seriously, if you're Mike Schilt, the Cardinals manager right now, and you got your ace, Jack Flaherty, who has sat over there a long time, would you think about getting somebody else ready and Jack Flaherty next time we see you Friday night in Game 1 of the LCS?
That's a great question. I'm with you. Like, it's interesting. You never think about going to the bullpen before you've even pitched, man. It's wild. I mean, it's not a bad idea. I don't know. I'm not up to date, like, on their bullpen per se. But, I mean, if you get, 10-0, you get a 10 spot in the first inning. Yeah, man, I'm going to hold you out, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd have to consider to maybe, get him up and he cruised through 3 and, hey, you got your work in today. We're going to set you down. Now, if he didn't go out to the mound, I was telling our producer during the break, Drew Barrett, who is a gigantic baseball fan, somewhere in the codicil canons of baseball unwritten rules, that's got to violate something. Wouldn't that precipitate a bench clearing brawl?
Probably so. I mean, I love the unwritten rules. I would love to read that book, by the way, one day, if anybody would, I guess,
There's no book, Alec. That's why they're unwritten.
Now, here's the interesting thing about it. So, if that scenario were to play out, okay? So, if that scenario were to play out, anybody that had money wagering on the game, it would be nullified because generally in baseball, both starting pitchers have to start. And I think technically, if he didn't throw a pitch,
great point.
Yeah, that would nullify all of it.
Oh, wow. And Ronald Acuna steps in. He and Yadier Molina had a moment. I think they needed to around this series. It's been a great series, but it's been a lot of stuff. Both sides. I don't want to go to who started it. And, this side only answered it. Man, we get into that in everything in sports. I didn't start it. I just answered it. And Acuna and Yadier Molina with a moment before he stepped into the batter's box. But what if Jack Flaherty had buzzed him?
Man, I'm telling you, that's what I love about baseball, and especially the postseason, right? Like, I mean, everything is amped up by 100. Guys are, just feeling it. Like, playoff baseball is awesome. I know that there's a lot of people, that kind of tune out baseball, and rightfully so. I get it. The season's really long, but man, if you're not watching when October gets here, you're really, really missing out. It's just phenomenal.
All kidding aside, Mike Schilt already with this roster move. Matt Carpenter started at third, more for an offensive bat, and he came through. I think he got one of those hits in the first. I hadn't been able to watch it that closely. Already, Schilt has pulled him. He didn't. Drew.
He got walked.
Okay. Schilt has pulled him going defense, moving Tommy Edman to third, Dexter Fowler to right, and Harrison Bader to center. I can't make this up, making defensive moves to protect a 10-run lead when you need 27 outs. Alan Bell, on Sunday, you had a lively give and take on your Twitter account and at CBS Sportsline. You wrote about it and referenced it. Marcus Mariota, we all agree. Marcus Mariota, a super fine young guy. And I think developing, but it's at too slow a rate, and sometimes it's with too much peril and not enough plays made. And you brought on a lot of critics Sunday, and you said bring it on.
Oh, absolutely. Because I'll say this. I'm with you. Marcus Mariota, it's nothing personal. Marcus Mariota is a great human being. But, the problem with this team is that they're just not scoring points. And not only that, you've got a quarterback that can't come back physically. Like, if they're down 7, 10, 14 points, that game is over because defenses are not going to respect this pass game. They're going to load up the box, and it's going to continue to just be aggressive defenses coming after them. That's why I feel bad. Everybody piled on the O-line, and yeah, I know that they obviously haven't been good, but, what are you going to do? Defenses are staying aggressive. So my point was this, is that you can't have a quarterback that can't come back in games and also start slow. You just cannot do it. So, we'll see. And to make a long story short, the thing about it is this, is that, the missed kicks, not Mariota's fault. The O-line, not Mariota's fault. However, in the NFL and in life, it doesn't care whose fault it is. Like, you're the quarterback, it's on you, and you're going to have to do something. And the problem is that Marcus Mariota requires more than he creates. So as long as you have that, you're just going to need everything going your way. And when it doesn't, you're just going to pick up losses. And this defense is giving up. They're averaging less than 20 points per game. This team should be 5-0, and fans should be upset. And I'm kind of wondering why they're not.
How much criticism on Mike Vrabel?
Son, he's the head coach. Same thing with the quarterback. You know what? The buck stops with you. You're the head coach. It doesn't matter. If things go wrong and it's one of your coordinators' fault, guess what? It's your fault, right? So there's parts to it. We'll see. He's had some questionable calls, some aggressive calls. They just got to figure this thing out. They've got to get it going. And if they score points, like, that's the thing. If they could just get points in the first half, everything flips for this team. The defense can play aggressive. They can, really, the crazy thing is this defense can get better, but they just have to score points. So, yeah, there's certainly some on Mike Vrabel as well.
A little bit like in college football, and we kind of know how the end's going to look, but we still enjoy getting there, whether it's going to be Alabama, Clemson, Part 5, OU, Georgia, Ohio State. We know some of those are going to be in that mix. Don't we kind of know how the end will be come Super Bowl Sunday in Miami? It's going to be New England after they have defeated Kansas City against somebody from the NFC, probably maybe the Saints.
Probably so. You look at what the Patriots are doing. They're just an incredible football team, and they're doing it defensively. Like, that's the scary part, is that their offense really, I know they put up a lot of points, but their offense is kind of missing some pieces. They need wide receiver help badly. Ever since, Antonio Brown, was gone, and Edelman's dealing with an injury, and Dorsett as well. This team is just not giving up points at all, man. They're just going to just physically beat you up. And I'll say this, if the Patriots get home field advantage, I don't know who's going to go up there and beat them. And I know Kansas City is fantastic. They've had a little 2-game slide, but they're going to be okay. But, just New England is phenomenal. Now, the NFC is much better top to bottom. There's a lot better, teams overall in the NFC than there is in the AFC. However, New England's better than all of them. And you know what? I'm not a Patriots fan by any means, but what I like and what I respect about them and about Belichick and Brady is that you're going to have to come rip the title out of their hands. Like, they're not going to give it to you. They're not giving anything up. You're going to have to take it. You're going to have to earn it. And we'll see how it goes. But, man, they're poised to do it again.
On Twitter at Alan Bell 24/7. Make sure, I got that right. At Alan Bell, 2 L's, 24/7, 247. And I love your 3 and 4 and 5 and even more than that parlay takes, taking a swing at a few things. You always put some out over the weekend. How much success? And when you get out there more than about 3 or 4, we know the man usually will send a car for you. But it's worth taking a chance at a couple of them, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Like, I love it. And that's the fun part about it, especially when you start going 4, 5, 6. I think I had one that was like 8 games.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing was this,
for
is
you.
that, yeah, well, you know what? I started off like 4-0, just nailing them. And then Illinois came up, burned me there at the end. But, yeah, they're fun, man. I like doing it. for anybody, whether you're a seasoned, gambler or somebody who, just might put your toe in the water. Like,
low stakes.
It's nothing expensive. Put $5-10, man. You can have some fun for sure.
Low stakes, like going to the track and betting a $2 quinella.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what it is. It's fun, and you know what? It has you watching games that you probably wouldn't watch. I was watching Michigan, Iowa. Just fired up about it, even though that game was terrible.
Ooh, wasn't it?
It just makes it a lot of fun for sure.
Oh, that Michigan Iowa game! The entire game played at midfield, wasn't it? It was between the 40s.
God, it really was, man. I mean, it was setting offenses back just 100 years. But the part that you hate is that both teams brought a defense. You know what I mean? Like, both teams are playing hard for sure.
We're not used to that anymore.
It's just ugly, man. It was tough to watch.
And we're not used to watching defensive football. Remember the day after the 13-3 Super Bowl in Atlanta, it was universal that was boring. It wasn't exciting, but I didn't think it was boring. We're just not we're just not conditioned to 13-3 and 10-3 football anymore.
No, we're not. Those days are gone. And you know what? I'm okay with it, because I'll say this. I think, when you have college and NFL, when you have teams that are scoring points, and especially the good teams, right? Like the teams at the top, the popular ones, you bring in a much larger audience, and you get people watching games that might not, really sit down. They might not care. They might not have a team at all. But to sit there saying, you know what, I want to watch Alabama. Let me watch this Tua kid. Let me watch their 50 wide receivers, that are amazing. Memphis, out in you guys' way. Like, that's a good football team.
It is.
Teams that are scoring points. It just makes it a whole lot more fun.
It makes it a lot more fun. Speaking of that, this week, the Tigers, they are favored on the road bright and early Saturday morning against Temple. Then in the SEC, you've got some big numbers. Georgia, 24.5-point favorites. State, a 7-point favorite on the road at Tennessee. Alabama, on the road, 16.5-point favorite. Vandy, 15-point favorite over UNLV. After seeing Vandy last Saturday night, UNLV must be terrible to be 15-point underdog to Vandy. Mizzou, 11.5-point favorite at home over Ole Miss. Kentucky, 6.5 over Arkansas in Lexington. And LSU in the big game, 13.5 over Florida. Which one of those games really piques your interest?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them. I'll say this, Vandy being 15-point favorites. I mean,
over
you're right.
Anybody.
They must be horrible. I've seen every Vandy game this year. The Bama, A&M game is going to be really exciting. I'll say this, the Florida LSU is going to get a lot of eyes, and rightfully so. It's going to be tough, for Florida to do that back-to-back weeks. But you know what? Dan Mullen's a good football coach, man. Like, he knows what he's doing. And the scary thing is that the hardest thing for him is recruiting. Everything else is rolling fine. So I think that LSU Florida, for sure, that's going to be an awesome one. I can't wait to watch, Oklahoma, Texas. We got a really good slate of games this week. Yeah, even if the lines are big, you know what? I kind of like it. Let's let the lines be big. Let's go after it till we can get.
Yeah, it was pretty lackluster last Saturday. I'm going to really get my Mississippi State friends on me here with this one. Dan Mullen's a really good football coach, and he knows it.
Yeah. He does know it, and you bring up Mississippi State, they're going, playing Tennessee, and Tennessee, honestly, against Georgia, that was probably the best half of football that they've played in 5 years. You know what I mean? Like, they were fired up. And the crazy thing was this, is that, we all kind of expected that Georgia would cover that 24.5 against Tennessee. I didn't think it would be like that. Like, that was a wild game. So, yeah, I'm interested to see who Mississippi State plays at quarterback, against Tennessee, how they go about it. And, can Tennessee, show up? Back-to-back week. It's crazy that they've come to that point, but, we'll see if they can do it.
All right, any thoughts on the late baseball game tonight, Strasburg against Buehler? Everybody's talking about Strasburg. Walker Buehler is pretty good. I picked him preseason to be the NL Cy Young winner. I don't think he's going to do that, but he had a good year. Any thoughts on that late game? And also, anything you're looking at right now on NBA season over-under numbers for win totals?
Yeah, good question. First off, I'll say this. Walker Buehler pitched at Vanderbilt. I saw him a ton when he was here in Nashville. One, he's a good kid, but two, he is an outstanding player. I mean, he is just a fantastic, guy for the Dodgers. So I like them. I think the Dodgers are a much better team. In a weird way, I'm kind of glad Clayton Kershaw's not on the mound, even though he's one of the best players in the league. NBA-wise, the NBA always fascinates me because, we go into each season and, like you were talking about with the NFL, like you kind of have an idea, okay, these are the 4 teams that are going to be there, and it really doesn't matter, for the other, 26 or whatever the number is. But I think when we finally got, some action around there, like, like we don't know what the Lakers are going to, how good they're going to be. We got the Clippers, showing up. We got some guys moving around. So I really don't, to answer your question honestly, like I really don't in terms of over-unders, in terms of those numbers. But this is probably the most excited I've been for an NBA season. And I say that as a guy who's not really, a huge NBA fan. I don't have anything against it. I've just never, kind of grown up around it. So I'm excited to watch, man. It's going to be just a ton of fun all year long for sure.
Come to Memphis. We'll take you to a game.
Buddy, I'm telling you what, I haven't been there for one yet, and I would love to. I see the atmosphere. Oh, it looks incredible. I love what Memphis has done with the Grizz. That looks like an awesome, awesome city when they have a game.
Really good product, really fun time. Alan Bell, we got to do it more often. Every time I have you on, I say that, and we go too long without it. Let's make it shorter this time, okay?
Hey, I hope so, buddy. I'm on anytime you'll have me, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You got it. Alan Bell talking everything with us from CBS Sportsline. A lot of fun to do that on the analytics front and also about the Titans and Marcus Mariota. I love telling you about the new Collierville commissary. We got the original, the Germantown commissary. We know where it is, but either place, the new Collierville commissary at Houston Levy and Poplar are the original in Germantown, Memphis-style barbecue. And we say Memphis-style, you know what that means? Slow Memphis-style. Barbecue and ribs, delicious and authentic Memphis-style great food. If you walk in right now and you ask for Walker Taylor, if you say, go Cardinals, see if he won't give you a discount. I know he'll serve you up great food because I know he's grinding on watching this game because he's a big Cardinal fan just like I am. Begin your barbecue feast with some great appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales or the barbecue nachos, the smoked chicken wings. They're fantastic. Get an order to go and watch the game. Watch the Dodgers game tonight. Good college football game tonight with Lou Lafayette playing App State, undefeated Appalachian State. Then dig into the ribs, the barbecue shoulder, get it chopped or pulled on a sandwich, a big sandwich, or you can get it on the plate. Comes with beans, slaw, deviled eggs, bread as well. You can even order it by the pound or the 6-pack like we give away quite often on this show, or an 8-pack or a 12-pack. And the best lemon icebox pie anywhere. Terrific banana pudding. 901-754-5540. Online at commissarybarbecue.com in Collierville and Germantown. And great party areas at the Collierville Commissary. Game watching parties, that's where you need to go. Bright and early Saturday morning to watch the Tigers, that's where you need to go. Get your orders to go, the catering, the tailgating, and always, it's never too early to order the 36-hour holiday bird. The Germantown and Collierville commissaries, Walker Taylor, has done it the right way at both places, and it is Memphis-style barbecue. When we come back, we wrap up hour 2. 10-zip Cardinals. Tommy Edman at bat, 2 outs in the top of the first. The bottom of the first was not easy on Jack Flaherty, a lot of base runners, but he got them all out as it is now Max Fried against his high school teammate, Jack Flaherty. Tough day for Mike Fultonevich. And it was either last year or 2 years ago at the golf tournament. A very nice couple came by, and I think they were local kin of Fultonevich. Tough day for him, but a great year for him and the Braves. The Cardinals just got to get outs now and get ready for Game 1 of the NLCS, whether it be Friday night in St. Louis or Friday night in Los Angeles. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
The Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Only on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Family Leisure has the world's biggest spa sale going on now. Over 50 spas in stock and ready to sell. $8,000 spas now just $44.99. 4-person spas starting at $24.99. Swim spas from $89.99. Huge discounts on all spas. Get the lowest prices of the year with special financing available. It's the world's biggest spa sale happening now at Family Leisure. Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together. The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. you think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Limb Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC-accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Limb Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselemonbrace.com.
Dedicated our life to yours. Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
And this corner is Bob the Beast of Bar Graphs, using Dayquil Severe to face off against his cold. Bob's cold was coming at him from all sides. Head, chest, right nostril, left nostril. Oh, Dayquil Severe! What a game changer! He's out of his bed sheets, wrecking his spreadsheets, bodies slamming his sales reports. With Dayquil Severe, Bob's cold is out cold.
Dayquil Severe, the daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, sore throat, power through your day medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Get your gun, Nelly, and saddle up Penelope. It's Western Trading Days at Sunrise Buick GMC. Old-time trading prices on over 700 new Buicks and GMC trucks, and the Sunrise Used Car Corral has over 500 in stock. Ranch managers have been told to cut prices to the bone, and remember, you can bring your car to Sunrise Service no matter where you bought it. If you're a good person with bad credit, SunriseMemphis.com will help you put one of your brand on these little fillies. Free hot dogs and Cokes at the Chuck Wagon. Western Trading Days going on now at all 3 Sunrise locations. We make it fun to buy a car again.
Hi, this is Troy Five Ash, owner of Five Ash Roofing. It's an exciting time to be a Memphis Tiger fan, and we at Five Ash Roofing have decided to share our excitement. We are proud members of the Tigers home team, which means we sponsor the Tigers athletic department, and we're also season ticket holders to both the football and basketball programs. We will be giving away 2 and sometimes 4 tickets to most of the games this coming year. To have a chance at winning the tickets, find our Facebook page, like, and share our post. The more you share, the more chances you have to win. We also want to give away some tickets to those who wouldn't otherwise get a chance to go. So, you can go to memphisroofer.com or 5ash.com and send us a note why you or someone you know should get the tickets. And as always, 5Ash Roofing is fair, honest, and ethical. We're experts in all forms of roofing for both residential and commercial buildings. 5Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Lotion and Brad Norsworthy.
11-0 Cardinals. 11 runs on 7 hits, no errors for the Cardinals. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error so far for the Braves. The Cardinals have to get the Braves out 24 more times in the bottom as they get ready to bat in the bottom of second. This would be a nightmare if you were a Braves fan. I mean, just imagine, taking off late afternoon, taking off at noon, going to the game. If you're a Braves fan here, look, we've all been on that side of sports. When you're all dressed up and you're ready to go and you're knocked out before you got there. I'll give you the Peach Bowl against TCU for Ole Miss a few years ago. Quickly knew this isn't even close.
No, and I told you at the break, there has to be some guy at this game that had tickets to Game 5, tried to leave at noon. Boss said, no, we really need you to stay here to get the reports. And he might have quit the job over it.
He shot the Rapids?
He could have. And then got there.
Quit a job.
Quit the job. Or gotten very close to it.
Man, quit a job of going to a ball game?
You never know. People could have done it. And somebody did it to be down 11-0 in the second inning.
Look, I work in sports and started to play sick today to stay home and watch this game. I didn't think anybody would believe me.
I wouldn't.
1 year, seriously, just a few years ago, I had a health issue, and it was on the first 2 days of the NCAA tournament. You remember just a few years ago. It was on the first few days of the NCAA tournament. I couldn't help it. And I've sat at home, and I didn't watch much basketball, but I wasn't playing sick to watch the NCAA basketball tournament. There's a lot of people do. You know, they say that around the NCAA basketball tournament, I haven't had this procedure done and don't plan on having it done, but it's the number one time of the year for guys to have the surgery. Yeah.
To get the snip?
Yeah.
I can understand that. I mean, that way you at least know you're going to be sitting down for a couple days.
Stay
you might
home,
as well
take it easy.
Enjoy some basketball.
Man. Kind of a bad image all the way around, though, isn't it?
It is, but at least you get to watch basketball.
I mean, you're sitting there with an ice pack on the you-know-what's. Not good. Not a good image for that first few days of the NCAA tournament. But, yeah, a lot of people asking me now at the text line at 67129 and what to do with Flaherty. I just told Drew during the break, I love the Cardinals. Y'all know I do. But it is very important for the Cardinals to wrap this up today in the right kind of way, the no noisy kind of way, because there's a lot of noise around them, whether they start it or not, and sometimes they do. And we know the sensitivity out there for a lot of teams in sports. I think you got to play this pretty straight and try to do it with a little decency and a little honor. And I think they will. But you don't want any stuff. You don't need any barking. I don't think you need to go Baker Mayfield and plant a flag at midfield. And enough of the throat slashing, whether Acuna did it first and Yachty paid, whatever it was. I'm so tired of around sports and in global politics. Well, they started it. We're just answering it. Man, can we ever just call everything even and just start at a decent point?
Oh, heck no.
No,
you know we can't.
No, we cannot. We cannot. And it's why we stay in this vicious cycle of I'm just one-upping you for that last real or perceived slight you gave me. We're constantly in that.
We can't get away from it.
Let's just play ball. Let's just play ball and have fun.
And that's what the Cardinals need to do right now. I mean,
yes,
I would toe the
way.
unwritten rule line, get as far away from it as possible. And I don't care if you hit a triple into the gap. You get up.
Stop at second.
You stop at second.
You stop at second.
And then if you want to clap or from the bench, you clap. Golf claps from here on out. No rowdiness, no nothing.
Yeah, no top.
You show as much respect as possible.
Yeah, there's a right way to kind of put this thing up, and there's a right way for the Braves as well. You know, for anything real or perceived to not be answered.
Don't be throwing at people.
Aren't we dug in and tribalistic in sports? And people ask me every year around the Egg Bowl, Brett, this has got to be the ugliest you've ever seen it. No, it's not. It's really not. It's always been kind of like this.
It's always been pretty ugly.
I mostly kind of like my Egg Bowl just like it is. I mostly like my sports just like it is. But I do want to be a good sport about it in victory and in defeat. I told you all summer around the Tiger game, I'm going to be the same guy on Monday, win or lose. And I think I was. And I think I know I want to be. But I do.
You were.
I am glad the Cardinals are winning. I'm looking forward to potentially going to an NLCS game or two. And then beyond. I waved the green flag too soon,
You taking the green flag off?
Green flag has been lowered. At least to half staff. And it also has a lot to do with the lack of green in the pocket. So
that's one reason why you might have to wave the green flag.
That'll take care of the other half. And when we come back the last hour on this busy Wednesday, Dave will be back in here with us tomorrow. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with the new arrivals from Cleveland Golf. Turbocharge your game with the new Cleveland Launcher HB Turbo Driver that delivers more speed for higher, longer, and straighter drives. And the Launcher HB Turbo Irons, which deliver maximum forgiveness, higher trajectory, and increased ball speed for more accurate and longer shots. And the Launcher UHX Irons deliver the perfect blend of distance and accuracy. Let us help you get custom fit for free today at Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee.
I'm here with Robert Cox, kitchen manager of the Rendezvous Restaurant. Tell us about those great ribs at the Rendezvous.
Rendezvous stands alone in a unique barbecue style, only found in Memphis, Tennessee. We don't smoke our ribs, we char broil them. The guys cooking our ribs have been doing it for 30 years. Mr. Charlie Virgos taught the guys the technique himself, and still to this day, they teach newcomers that come in the door. After our ribs come out the pit, we pre-cut every order, so you easily can tear them apart. We baste our ribs on a plate and sprinkle our season all over them.
So Robert, are ribs what everyone comes to the Rendezvous for?
The beef brisket is now our second best seller behind the ribs. We also have lamb riblets, half chicken, pork shoulder, chopped chicken, cheese and sausage plate. Nachos are fantastic. We also carry a Greek salad. The list goes on.
Robert, where can we find out more about all of these great options?
Our restaurant menu is online at hogsfly.com, and recently we just added our catering menu online.
Mr. Charlie Virgos' Rendezvous Restaurant, a family-owned restaurant in downtown Memphis, in the alley since 1948.
In today's evolving workplace, XMC understands the process of getting office work done has moved from the desktop to your pocket. The new Xerox multifunctional printers and Connect Key app technology are game changers. Are you working with confidential information? Does it need to be secure from unwanted threats? Do you need to translate documents to another language? Xerox's App Gallery provides solutions like secure printing and easy translator technology. XMC is the second largest exclusive Xerox agent in the U.S. with 9 locations to serve you. We've been in business for over 25 years and have received top awards from Xerox. In changing our world one experience at a time, our team's committed to doing what's right for your business. XMC is proud to be your leader in document and print management, and it'd be our pleasure to serve you. Contact XMC today at 888-814-3114 or visit our website at xmcinc.com. XMC, Excellence in Office Solutions.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical, not for sale to minors. Website restricted to adults 21 and over.
Let's be real. Most smokers aren't looking for some overcomplicated vaping machine. That's why we created MyBlue. MyBlue is simple. Our pre-filled liquid pods mean there's no mess. One charge and MyBlue lasts all day. And with our range of flavors and nicotine options, you have a choice. MyBlue answers on what matters for smokers. Real nicotine satisfaction. And right now, try MyBlue for $1 at select retailers or myblue.com.
In this corner is Bob, the Beast of Bar Graphs, using Dayquil Severe to face off against his cold. Bob's cold was coming at him from all sides. Head, chest, right nostril, left nostril. Oh, Dayquil Severe! What a game changer! He's out of his bed sheets, wrecking his spreadsheets, bodies slamming his sales reports. With Dayquil Severe, Bob's cold is out cold.
Dayquil Severe, the daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, sore throat, power through your day medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hewlett & Dunn, nestled on Old Town Square in Collierville, has 4,000 square feet of the largest boot selection in 200 miles. International boot legends Luke Casey, Double H, Red Wing, Ariat, Justin, and Tony Lama. Hewlett & Dunn has rubber hunting boots by Dry Shod, and recently has expanded the selection of safety work boots. Filson Hunting Gear, biggest selection in 3 states, and now carrying Duckhead. Western wear, hunting attire, jeans, belts, hats, and more at 111 North Center Street, Collierville on Old Town Square. You need to stop by Hewlett & Dunn, you bet your boots.
If you're an outdoorsman and love all things hunting and fishing, be sure to listen to Sports 56 Saturday mornings at 6 a.m. for Outdoors Today. Brought to you by The Gun Store, 6920 Winchester in Memphis. Outdoors Today is a 1-hour show hosted by veteran Mark Tobin and a group of respected outdoor-loving guests. Outdoors Today is dedicated to bringing outdoorsmen tips and techniques and tactics to help with your hunting and fishing in all seasons. Saturday mornings at 6 on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 and 96.1 FM.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Dave back with us tomorrow. Please message us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Facebook, Periscope, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. You can text us at the First Bank text line 67129. You can call us at the First Bank phone line 360-8255. This hour brought to you every day by DeSoto Auto Sales, where they specialize in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry at 5704 Goodman Road down in DeSoto County. 662-890-7184. And at DeSoto Auto Sales, all the cars are checked out head to toe, quite literally bumper to bumper, and unlimited inventory at DeSoto Auto Sales. If they don't have it on the lot, they'll go out and find it for you. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales, where you're treated like family by kind, courteous employees, laid back down home environment. No high pressure sales, but they will make you this guarantee: the ultimate car experience guarantee. What does that mean? That means when you walk in, you meet with your sales rep, you find your car, you do the paperwork, credit approved, all in about 45 minutes. They know we're living in a world today that time matters. They know that, and it's that simple for them. Visit online, DeSotoAutosales.com, to find out about all the referrals. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience on Goodman Road at DeSoto Auto Sales. Still on cloud nine from his Rays yesterday, winning in the ballpark again, looking good with a great crew last night at the Trop. The Trop was rocking. TJ Reeves joins us now before he has to jet off to London for the Buccaneers duties this weekend. TJ, whirlwind few days for you. Very good.
No doubt. This is my first day in the last 4 where I have not been at a dome with my ears ringing. I went from Superdome in New Orleans for the Saints and the Bucks to Tropicana Field, which is a dome, and that was as bonkers as anything in the last 10 years in this area. Those 2 games, Game 3 and Game 4. And as you are already detailing what the Cardinals are doing to the Braves right now, tells you that in winner-take-all games, we know this, but we're being blatantly reminded right now this afternoon, there is no given for the Houston Astros that even with Garrett Cole going in Game 5.
None, and none tonight for the Dodgers. And TJ, I brought it up. I don't think they should. I don't want this. I'm not trying to go for anybody's job. If Dave Roberts doesn't get out of the divisional series, they lose late night tonight. They see the champagne celebration in the visitors' clubhouse at Chavez Ravine. I don't think he'll be fired, but he better not start next year 17 and 28.
Yeah, it's tough to look at a guy that was in the World Series the last couple of years and say, and in the playoffs with the best record in the National League, and say you're not good enough to manage for us next year. But welcome to New York, L.A., Chicago, Philadelphia. It is just
those budgets
in those markets with that payroll. You're right, with the expectations, how much scrutiny there is throughout the season. There's always a belief we can get somebody better. And you know, again, it sounds just crazy on the surface, but a perfect example is hockey. I know it's hockey, but the Chicago Blackhawks fired Joel Quenneville a couple of years ago, a year and a half, 2 years ago. He had won 3 Stanley Cups in Chicago, and that did not buy him enough for a bad season or a couple of subpar championship, non-championship seasons to keep from getting fired. Welcome to coaching in pro sports in the 2010s and beyond.
It just is. It's just life in the big city. Arch, you mentioned being in New Orleans on Sunday. Buccaneers very competitive last Friday for our picks. I went a little bit crazy, called the straight-up Buccaneer win. They didn't get there. They didn't even cover the Vegas point spread, but they played well. TJ, I've said, and I love New Orleans, and I always have, but I think even more after Katrina, seeing that despair, seeing that suffering, the Superdome being the crown center of a lot of it. Since then, and with their Super Bowl win, that may be the best home field advantage in American sports right now.
If it's not, it's in the top 2 or 3 in the conversation. Certainly in the NFL, that is as tough a place as anywhere to go and play. And I can testify to that because we go there every year. And I get to go to a lot of other places too, and they're loud. And then there's the Superdome. And you got to give Teddy Bridgewater a lot of credit, and Sean Payton. They are such a well-coached team. They are well-disciplined, especially on offense. Their defense is improved. They're going to be a tough out. I mean, they were obviously the number 1 seed last year, and the Rams found a way with the controversy and all that to beat them in the NFC Championship game. But they're going to be a tough out. Even without Breeze, they've now won 3 straight games. Again, this is why we love sports. This is why we love the unexpected. We think we have it figured out. We don't know. Because Drew Brees gets hurt, and everybody's looking at, okay, if he's out 6 games, are they going to be 2-4? Are they maybe going to be 1-5 with Teddy Bridgewater? They're 3-0 and they look like they could be 5-1 or 6-0 if he has to miss 6 games. That's how good they've looked defensively. Alvin Kamara, Bridgewater last week was on point with some great third down conversion passes. So we think we know, we don't know, and we'll get back to the Astros and the Rays. That's the classic example the last couple of days, because you would have thought the Rays fold up and the Astros beat them in 3, kind of like what the Yankees did to Minnesota. We just don't know that in sports.
And I know Sean Payton and the Saints brass, Mickey Loomis and others, they will welcome Drew Brees back and bring him in on a Mardi Gras float when he's well. But I think Sean Payton's enjoying a little bit of doing this and showing people that, I'm pretty good too. Drew Brees is a big part of this, but I'm a big part of this. And I think one of these days Belichick relishes and looks forward to showing that he can do it without Brady.
Yeah, it's true, but
we'd rather do it with Brady and Brees.
Well, Brady's apparently going to do it till he's 55 or maybe 65, and I don't know. I mean, Brees may play another 5 or 6 years, but yeah, it's impressive, and they're using the third quarterback, Taysom Hill, the former Nebraska quarterback, who they love as kind of a Swiss Army knife. He does everything. He plays receiver and blocks. He plays on special teams, including kickoff coverage and punt block. And then he's in there playing quarterback and dropping back and throwing the ball and sometimes running the read option. So you're right. I mean, he's Peyton full on using everything at his disposal right now and showing you how well-tuned they are, how on point they are offensively. Again, I can't emphasize, they don't beat themselves with dumb penalties, lining up wrong. You wouldn't expect them to have false starts at home, things like that, but they don't do that stuff. So that's again, it's the same thing with Belichick and the Patriots. You are rarely going to see them beat themselves. If you go take it to them and beat them, that's one thing. But they're not going to make mistake after mistake after mistake. Probably in 19 games out of 20, they're not going to set you up to beat them. And that's the same way with the Saints.
Nothing says a NFC matchup like Tottenham Hotspur Stadium at 8:30 Central Time on Sunday morning.
Okay.
Have you been over to those games before, or is this the first time?
So I have been there twice before,
Gotcha.
Both at Wembley Stadium. 2009 against Belichick and the Patriots, and they throttled my Buccaneers that day. Lovie Smith and the Bears 2 years later. It was a closer game, not a well-played game. Urlacher and the Bears beat my Bucs, so we're 0 for 2 at Wembley Stadium. So let's go try the new renovated Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which seats about 60,000, and it's kind of configured a little differently than a lot of the other soccer stadiums. So it's kind of like an NFL conducive situation. So this will be fun to go and see. Here's my world. All right, so we have the 2 wins, and who knew that the Rays were going to win them both? So now Game 5 is Thursday night, and we are flying Thursday night while the game is going on, all night, overnight to London for this game Sunday. And we're going to try to find out the score. I believe that the charter airline that we're on may have TV, but I don't know if it has Fox Sports 1 to be able to watch the game. So we're going to try to find out the score and see what's going on. And then we get there Friday morning, Stats, and go get acclimated to the time change. The team will go through a walkthrough at that stadium on Friday, and then get ready to play Sunday morning U.S. time. Now, remember, it's still 2:30 p.m. afternoon, 5 hours ahead in London, so it's technically an afternoon game still on your new adjusted time, but on your body clock, you're playing in the morning here, and that's the first time the Bucs have done this. So where you're playing the early games, they did this about 2 or 3 years ago, and they've kind of now gotten into the trend of at least a couple of these London games, play them early before the noon Memphis time starts, and the Bucs-Panthers will be one of those.
I love them, and from the purely selfish reason why I love them is I don't know how, but it almost always seems like, and it's one of the extended ones. It's not, the road trip to Nashville for Ole Miss or the road trip to Starkville for Ole Miss. It's always kind of a long one. So Sunday morning, I'm going to get up and leave Columbia bright and early. And I've been lucky a couple years in a row. That's my listening pleasure on Sunday morning, driving back from Ole Miss games.
Well, we hope that there's something entertaining in this one. And again, the Bucs won the first matchup, Thursday Night Football, that most of the country obviously got to see it on Fox. The upset where Cam Newton was hurt, And ever since then, he hasn't played, and Kyle Allen, the former A&M and former Houston quarterback, has played well. The thing he's done the best is turn around and hand the ball to Christian McCaffrey, who's been fantastic. So the Bucs have to be ready, obviously, for that. And look, you were kind. The Bucs played okay Sunday at the Superdome. Not as good as what they needed to be. Certainly not as good as what they were out in L.A. But let's see if they can up it a notch or two. Mike Evans did not have a catch in the game last week. Stopped a streak stats. You love the stats. 65 games in a row with a reception, gone. That streak is over. The Saints shut him down. So he is chomping, itching to get out there on Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and get a catch or two or five and get something going against the Panthers. So that one should be a lot of fun. Now, I'm curious. I want to morph it back to baseball. Have the Cardinals scored any more runs? Did they kick a field goal or a touchdown? Or what's the update now?
11 zip, bases loaded, one out in the top of the third with Harrison Bader at bat.
And so is it still 10-0 because I've been driving?
11.
11-0. Mm-hmm. And there had been talk that they would take the starter out because maybe save him for a potential game 1 or game 2 of the NLCS.
I threw it out before he threw the first pitch, but we had a guest on, Alan Bell, who's really good on wagering and analytics. He said that if Flaherty had not thrown, if he had been pulled before throwing the first pitch, all bets canceled because Vegas really keys off the pitchers.
Wow, how about that? So, yeah, the mayhem of that. But obviously if he throws a pitch or faces the batter and then they take him out, then it would still have counted. So,
man, I take him out and I send him back home.
Well, right. And that was the thing last night with Verlander. But let's bring it back to the Rays game, where the Rays got to him in the first, and the Rays had him in trouble again in the second. And I kept saying, I'm out there in the left center field stands. You probably saw me posted on social media that I'm out there watching, and I'm going, how many innings do they let him go here when it's all hands on deck for Game 5, and you might want him for an inning or two if you need him when he clearly doesn't have his best stuff tonight? But you get him back home in the home environment, do you want to burn 60, 70, 80 pitches tonight where he basically doesn't have much for a Game 5? These are the things that you got to think about and go through. But that was some atmosphere. I mean, Stats, the two things I would compare it to, obviously the romance of the 08 team, Joe Madden, David Price, Evan Longoria, that whole crew, winning the ALCS in Game 7 over the dreaded, hated Boston Red Sox. That celebration was as bonkers as anything that's been in that building. So that's the stratosphere. All right, so that's number one. I was there for the playoff win by the Tampa Bay Lightning hockey team over the Philadelphia Flyers. This is 1996. Yes. This is a 23-year-old anecdote where the largest indoor crowd in NHL history at that time, and I believe it is still the case, 28,000 for a playoff win, an overtime goal in the playoffs, won that game in that series. The Lightning didn't win the series, but they won that game. We blew the roof off that place. I mean, that place went berserk that night. This was close to that the last 2 days, waving the yellow towels for the Rays. Yeah. And when Kiermaier hit that 3-run home run Monday afternoon, Stats, it flipped the series. And like the old 1950s movies would put up on the screen, be afraid about the monsters, be very afraid. Be very afraid of the Rays bats coming to life. I know Cole shut them down last Saturday night, but be afraid that those bats have come to life. And if you're Houston, do not go anywhere near what has happened in Atlanta this afternoon, where you let the Rays jump out and get 2 or 3 or 4 runs on you. It could be big, big trouble.
TJ, hardcore baseball fans, a lot of us not that familiar with the Rays, the full order from 1 through 9.
Why would you be?
I said
the lowest payroll. It's basically an anonymous group of guys that they put together, young and upcoming guys. Why would you be familiar, Stats? Nobody would.
But we are now familiarizing ourselves with a lot of those guys. And I said this earlier, and Drew really raised his eyebrows at me, and a texter said I was nuts. That shortstop, Willie, help me with the pronunciation.
Willie Adames. It looks like Adames, but it's Adames.
He may be the best shortstop left in the playoffs, and that includes Carlos Correa.
He is fantastic, and this is the kid, again, that they got as a 17-year-old single-A player, a throw-in in the David Price trade back 4 years ago. They traded David Price, actually 5 years ago now. They traded David Price at the trade deadline to the Detroit Tigers. Adames was a throw-in that trade. They got a left-handed pitcher.
They do some smart stuff.
Right, yes, and so as a 17-year-old, they projected this guy 3 or 4 years from now could be something, and he is something. He is a tremendous power hitter. All right, so I'll tell you a couple quick stories because you love these. I'm in the left center field seat. Your guy, Tommy Pham. Thank you very much for the Cardinals dealing Tommy Pham.
And we like the Cardinals like what we got back in Cabrera, in Genesis Cabrera.
Well, there you go. So it worked out for both teams. Pham hit that first-inning home run last night about 15 feet from where TJ, Grandpa Reeves, and the others were sitting to my left, and it was a bullet. It almost took the arm off of the guy trying to catch it, and it hit the seat in the second row, about 2 rows in front of us and 15 feet to the left. So that's number one. Then later in the night, the Adames home run off the catwalk that basically clinched the game and made it 4-0 was rattling around in that catwalk up above us, probably about 40 feet to our left. He blasted that ball. That's a 430, 440-foot home run easily off the catwalk. So he's fun to watch, Willie Adames. They've got Pham, Kevin Kiermaier, very popular, and the kid they got in the Chris Archer trade from the Pirates, Austin Meadows, the outfielder, has had a phenomenal 30-home run year. He hasn't done much yet in this series, but he might break out in Game 5. Great power-hitting left-handed guy. So, again, the Rays, a largely anonymous lineup. I know you love these numbers. Zach Greinke started the game on Monday. Zach Greinke's salary for 2019, $31 million. More than the entire 9-man batting order of the Tampa Bay Rays who beat him on Monday.
In number 30 in all of baseball, and now they're one win away, and, well, baseball can really kind of have that tricky feel to it.
But look, I mean, even if the Rays don't win, Houston should win. All right, we agree.
Yeah.
We could see they should win and should be playing the Yankees. The Rays have won already. To make the playoffs with 96 victories, with that lineup, with that payroll, and not be a 70-win team or a 72-win team, to win the one-game playoff in Oakland, winner-take-all game at Oakland and hit 4 home runs in the game, to win those 2 elimination games in Game 3 and Game 4, you've won already. I'm not saying that it's not going to hurt if you lose tomorrow night, but they've had a tremendous season, and Houston is supposed to beat them. They have the best record in baseball. So you're playing with house money. The only way I'm looking at it right now is you've had a great year, and maybe you get a bonus and get to play another round here with the Yankees.
If you had to lose, would you want to lose like Atlanta's losing, now trailing? And I will guarantee you, Mike Shannon has said this on the broadcast, it is now a baker's dozen, cousin, 13 to
13 to nothing.
Would you rather lose
I don't know
13 nothing or
I don't
2
know
to
that
1?
I would rather have it be an instant death like what it was in the top of the first, or gut-wrenching and you lose by 1 late in the game and all of that. I mean, it stinks either way. The amazing thing, again, is it's the theater of the unknown. We don't know. Gary, I mean, all I keep hearing, I've got Houston Reeves. I've got Reeves relatives in Houston. They keep telling me this the last 24 hours. I got other friends and acquaintances in Houston. They keep saying Garrett Cole this, Garrett Cole that. I'm saying, look, you don't know. He could be terrible tomorrow night. Struggling to throw strikes. They could hit him early and rattle him. You can't know this, and the Cardinal game is proving that this afternoon, because who had this for Game 5 in Atlanta?
Nobody. TJ, this with the Rays, who is the point person for this long run of consistency? I know the kind of the first guy, Friedman, went to the Dodgers.
Right.
I know I saw this graphic. Since 2008, third most wins in all of baseball. The Rays only trail Boston and New York, the Yankees and the Red Sox. That's
in
unbelievable.
The division where they play.
Yeah.
And so the current regime has Matt Silverman, who's been since day one with the organization. He's in more of a personnel role than what he was before when Friedman was here, and Friedman moved on to the Dodgers, 4 years ago? They have another GM, Eric Neander, who's a young guy that comes right out of that same mold of the analytics, the scouting, and they have just done a phenomenal job of not only developing your own guys like Adames, but go get guys in trades and project what is it going to look like 2 years from now, 3 years from now. they're able to spin the move for Tommy Pham and get him, and he's been the right tonic. I mean, he's got some attitude. He definitely is.
He does.
He's a different guy. I mean, Cash even said after the game last night, he's not a cat that I go over and say a whole lot to.
I don't know why he runs like this, but he just runs constantly unhappy.
But it works for him.
It does.
I mean, it worked. Some great examples. It worked for John McEnroe, who was angry all the time. I mean, it works for some guys. It worked for Warren Sapp, by the way, for my Buccaneers, speaking of them, who was angry all the time around the football field, around the media, around everybody.
Yeah.
So it just, some guys feed off of that. It works for him. But, again, they held out trading Chris Archer with multiple teams wanting him because Pittsburgh gave them an excellent right-handed pitcher named Tyler Glasnow and threw in Austin Meadows, their best offensive prospect, and the Rays knew what they were doing, obviously, with that trade and with that move.
I would say they do.
They've pushed the right buttons.
They have pushed the right buttons. TJ, be safe in London. Be safe at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and
yes, sir.
We'll visit next
Wednesday.
Yes,
sir. Well, and just be thinking of me while you're watching Game 5, because I don't know how much of it I'm going to get to see, if at all, for the Rays there. The baseball playoffs we love. And I want to say thank you to you, too, and say to the Memphis audience that Brett came on the Three Dog Thursday podcast with me last week talking football. I love talking underdogs in college football and the NFL on Three Dog Thursday. Find that wherever you find podcasts. Brett came on last week talking some underdogs, and we have a lot of fun on that show, so thank you for popping on with me. I always love chatting with you. I know you're smiling because of your Cardinals. Hopefully I'm smiling for the Rays, my friend.
You got it. I'm pulling for you tomorrow night. The Astros are really good, but I'm for you and I'm for the Rays. Thank you, TJ.
All right, Stats. Good to be with you guys.
You got
See you later.
Be safe. Headed to London for the 8:30 tilt on Sunday morning. I'll be listening, driving home. Every time I pack this summer, I have packed all this year with Harry's, and you can go to harrys.com right now. Use code STATS at checkout to claim your offer at harrys.com. They have an amazing offer for listeners to this show. New customers get $5 off a trial set from Harry's with code STATS at harrys.com. That means you get a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, foaming shave gel, and travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping when you use code STATS at harrys.com. Harry's, they don't add any gimmicky features to the razors, just the facts, Jack. They focus on the qualities that actually matter for a close, comfortable shave, and they never upcharge you. Get a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just use code STATS at harrys.com. I love the close shave. I love the easy glide, and I love that low price. Harry's is a return to the essential. Quality, durable blades at a fair price, just $2 per blade. They keep prices low because they cut out the middleman. How'd they do it? They own a world-class blade factory in Germany that's been making some of the best razor blades for almost 100 years. And it's a brand you can be proud of. 1% of sales donated to organizations that provide access to mental health care for men. Go to harrys.com today. Use code STATS at checkout to claim your offer. When I shave with Harry's. 13 runs on 9 Cardinal hits, only 1 hit for the Braves, 0 runs. It's just a matter of time. As Jack Eaton used to would say, late in a Tiger lead, the only thing in doubt is the margin of the Tiger victory. The Cardinals are headed to the NLCS. When we come back, we head to the home stretch of this Wednesday afternoon. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find Real Sports Talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
Fall is fast approaching, and you know what that means. Time to start thinking about covering your pool. The best way to protect your pool, your loved ones, and your pocketbook is with a safety pool cover. Mario's Pools on Exeter and Germantown has the best advertised price on all pool safety covers, solid and mesh. Keep your pool looking great year after year. A safety cover requires less maintenance, saves money on chemicals and water, prevents standing water, and extends the life of your liner. Call Mario's Pools at 552-3399. That's 552-3399, or just walk in and see him in Germantown on Exeter Road. Plus, he specializes in pool closings. Mario's has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. Check out his reviews on Facebook. Protect your investment. Call Mario's Pools today, 552-3399.
Farmers Insurance knows that when you're in the car and that song comes on, yes, that's the one, you have no choice but to pull out your imaginary drumsticks and smash those cymbals and stomp on that kick pedal, which unfortunately is the accelerator pedal. And we covered it. Talk to a farmer's agent who knows a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Hi, folks. Good news for bargain hunters and bandits from the Chevy Sheriff in Collierville. Sunrise Chevy has over 500 Chevys and used cars in stock just in time for the Sunrise Low Price Rodeo. Factory rebates up to $5,000, Sunrise discounts high as $8,000, and don't forget, Sunrise specializes in secondary financing. Need a good body shop? Bring it to Sunrise. We work on all makes and models. Remember, you can bring your Chevy to Sunrise for service no matter where you bought. Buy American and buy from Sunrise. There's always a sale at the Sunrise Chevy Ranch. Find new roads to 385 in Houston, Levy, and Collierville. Chevys cost less at Sunrise, partner.
I love fall. The landscape is so beautiful at Town Village Audubon Park. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $2,300. Gourmet Chef Drew invites you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, daily check-in, monthly coffee club, theme dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
All right, seriously. As I talked about earlier, we've all been on this side of sports where you're all dressed up, you're ready to go, you got your team in a big game, and you're knocked out before you get settled in your seat. It's terribly dispiriting. I did it in 2004 in St. Louis. I had tickets for game 4. Red Sox were up 3-0. They just came back from 3-0 deficit for the first time in baseball history to upset the Yankees in the ALCS. They get up 3-0, and I had tickets to games 4 and 5 in St. Louis. Johnny Damon led off game 4 with a home run. And I leaned over and told a friend of mine, I said, this may be the first time I've ever been to a Cardinals game that I'm rooting against the Cardinals for the rest of the way, because I waved the green flag. I said, we can get out of hotels and we can get money back for tickets. You know, you get reimbursed if there's no game. And the Red Sox went on and won easily and swept and wasn't even getting in any way of that magic carpet ride they had gotten on. I mean, it wasn't going to happen 2 times in a week.
No.
Somebody came back from 3-0. And you knew that. We knew that driving up. Getting pounded is better than losing a heartbreaker, isn't it?
Oh, by far. Because while getting pounded, it hurts at the beginning.
Takes all the doubt out.
But it takes the doubt out. You can ultimately have time to reflect on it, get over it, and then laugh about it. I mean, the first one that comes to mind for me was last year, the Tigers at Missouri. It was over pretty early, and then it just got way away from us. By third and fourth quarter, me and my dad
only one thing to do.
Only one thing to joke about. All right, down by 45, we got them right where we want them. Come on, bring it back.
Two things
can
to do. Joke
lighten up about it.
And drink heavily.
And I did both.
Yeah, and it comes that time, and for the Braves fans, now they won't kill themselves over this game. They will replay the other two games that they lost, and the what ifs and the why nots. And the Cardinals could go on and get swept 4-0 by the Dodgers, and the Braves fans can easily say, well, that would happen to us too. So what?
When Braves fans, when it's all said and done by the end of this game, look back, are they going to regret Game 4? Or I think it's more look back at Game 1, where you lost Game 1, and that was the one that kind of broke the camel. It didn't break the camel's back, obviously, because it was Game 1, but it was the first rock to move for the mudslide.
It made the Cardinals comfortable winning that game. It got uncomfortable late in it. This was a great series up until today's slaughter. It was. And this kind of removes any doubt of, I guess for now, who was better. The Braves were better over the course of the regular season, winning 4, losing only 2, but you get down to this, and this is what matters. This is probably a really good example of why these games don't need to be best of 5. They should be best of 7. This was an outlier. This was the anomaly. This was the one that didn't fit. This should be, okay, down 3-2, and you go back to St. Louis, and you win that one 4-2, and it's over. But it's not. The DS are best of 5. I just think most things baseball should be best of 7, but we can't play until Christmas time.
See, that's the thing, especially with the way travel works. And once we get into the CS, while we're in a city, we're going to play back-to-back nights, but then we're going to take 2 or 3 days off between travel days. So if we did play a 7-game series, and let's say every series went to 7, we'd be playing till almost Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Bring the cranberry sauce out and Game 7 of the World Series. You're looking live. I don't know if we need to do that. I don't know if we need to start any earlier either.
We definitely don't need to do that.
We've pushed baseball opening day up to about March 27th.
Especially when scheduling guy has no idea what weather charts or geography is.
Scheduling guys never watch the weather channel.
No.
Ever.
First week of March. Yeah, let's have Tampa Bay Rays play the Red Sox
in Cleveland,
in Boston, and then we're gonna have the Astros play the Indians in Cleveland, and we'll also have the Yankees play whoever in New York when
and
their
the Dodgers
opponent
start at home.
Exactly.
And the Padres.
Yeah.
And the Padres
They never seem to get it right. They have no idea how weather works.
No, scheduling guy does not know Jim Cantori whatsoever. I saw this earlier along these layers of baseball playoffs we're now in, and it's why when we get down to the World Series, we know the World Series records will always be something that you can refer to, and it's timeless. Because even though we did go through a stretch that was best of 9, yeah, that's weird. But it's mostly been best of 7 most of the rest of the course of baseball history. So you can look at Gehrig's World Series records and Ruth and DiMaggio and Lou Boudreau and Tris Speaker and all those old names, and you can compare them to the modern times. You can't now because, like Yadier Molina and all these games he's appeared in, he's had so many chances to appear in more games as well. And I saw this note, and I don't really even like referencing it because it is comparing this round, the DS, to the World Series. When on Monday, Yadier Molina, he became the second oldest player in Major League Baseball postseason history with a walk-off to stave off elimination. The only older player to do so was Jackie Robinson in Game 6 of the 1956 World Series. I don't like comparing World Series stuff to DS stuff.
Because it's not even in the same league. And it's not fair.
And I love
Yadier
Molina.
You do have so many more games.
But to compare him to the great man, Jackie Robinson, to do it in 56, you compare apples to apples. If it was a World Series game, okay. And I know he did it, and it was a big moment. It was one of the career moments for a great Cardinal, and he has had big postseason moments. But, the divisional series compared to the World Series, and that note was from, have you checked out this site, Stats by stats.
Are you in control of that?
Not at all.
No.
Stats by stats.
I think you should get some naming rights or something.
No, I bet he laid claim to it first.
Okay.
I don't know. September 10th, 1992, when George put it on me. You think they had...
I don't think they had the Twitter
machine.
machine. There's no Twitter machine. I think you need some copyright.
And look, I want to be very respectful when I say this, because we know why Dave's out today. It is Yom Kippur for him and his family, and he's there. He said he would be here for me. What if this had been a loss? Dave said he was going to be here for me.
He wouldn't have texted you either. And
No.
he'd come in tomorrow and then just play it on like, oh, I would have been here for you if I could have been, but we know it's a lie.
I mean, I don't want to get in the way of Yom Kippur.
I don't either.
By any means.
But
he said he would be here. And what if I'd just been twisting around today with the Cardinals? What if they were on the other end of this? Where would Dave be? He would be sending me ha-has. That's what he would be doing. He wasn't going to be here for me, Drew.
He never was.
And evidence by it, he open up the other camera and show the empty seat. I'm looking over there at the empty seat right now. Open up the other camera. You see Dave? Do you see Dave's sunshiny face? Do you see Dave over there with his toupee? I don't. And he doesn't wear a toupee. We've already had this discussion once. But no, there's no Dave. He wasn't here for me. I understand mostly why. I do, but not here at all. Cardinals in a resounding win today. We got a text earlier about the China discussion with the NBA, and the texter said that the NBA is not going to be able to slow walk out of this. They're not. They have not managed it at all. It is only getting bigger, made worse by them being there for this gigantic rollout. LeBron James sits quiet in Shanghai, one of the more international cities on the planet now, and it's like he doesn't have Wi-Fi. He can't comment on anything. Chris Paul with an embarrassing answer.
I think LeBron even didn't do his normal Taco Tuesday videos yesterday.
And
he's gone complete silence.
And the league pulled the plug on media availability. Bad look. I mean, it's only going to mushroom more and go into their opening nights here when they get here and you have the availabilities. They can't cancel all those. They've not done a good job with it. But the texture referred to this being the NBA's NFL moment. And I'm sorry that I did delete it, but I did. And the exact wordage from the texter was the NBA or the NFL. He didn't say ruined, but said, kind of, the NBA has not been ruined, or the NFL has not been ruined. It has not been marred. Monday Night Football, record Monday Night Football rating, biggest rating since 2015. The NFL is rolling along just fine after some turbulent waters, for sure, over the course of a few years, over social protests, over social unrest, over their players wanting to speak. They let them. The NFL let them. I mean, they gave room for any kind of sideline disruption. Jerry Jones took a knee with the Cowboys as the owner of the Cowboys. The NBA has stifled everything so far in this. And it goes to the wokeness. It goes to they have convinced themselves that they are the wokest among us, that they the very charitable arm of the NBA, NBA Cares, the NBA's been out there pounding their chest for years that they just care more than the rest of us. Mm-hmm. That we're more socially tolerant and broad-minded, and we care more, and we can have a hashtag for this, or a bracelet for that, or a T-shirt for this cause.
Everybody can wear their own custom-designed shoes.
Again, it's just sunshine and daffodils, and then when it gets on their end of the court, pardon the pun, they shut down media availabilities.
And that's what's hurting them the most, is the not talking. The up until this point saying, we're a transparent league. We'll tell you how it is. We'll be
on
open.
Anything.
We'll be open. I mean, you want to ask us about
we got
the NFL? We'll talk about it. You want to ask about Major League Baseball? We'll talk about it. You want to talk about something going on the court here? We'll talk about it.
They politicized it.
And now, with the silence of it, next time they come, Commissioner Silver or anybody else comes out and says that, hey, we're transparent. Hey, we're going to talk about the issues. Hey, we're not going to silence our players or our league. You can't trust them because you just kind of look back and going, nah, you sent out a statement telling people not to comment on it when they were asked. We know it's happening. So therefore, you've lost your credibility.
Drew, I think worse than the silence has been the systemic amnesia. Chris Paul just kind of scratching his head, going, I'm just not up on the issue. Steve Kerr and many others, Pop and many others, just not that up on the issue. And Chris Paul feigning that when we know why he's doing it. Because his shoe endorser, they're trying to sell shoes like everybody else. Like I said the other day, if you're in any business, you're trying to sell to China.
They have twice as many people as we do.
It's just simple
math.
Economy. Yeah, I mean, it was why when Nixon, with the bold first trip to China in the early 70s, look, I know it firsthand. Overnight, everything you can grow and sell on a farm went sky high. Everybody loved Nixon going to China, and we've been trying to tap into that. But along the way, it gets very untidy with them at times, and this one is untidy. And I know for somebody right now thinking, "Hey, Brett, you're Mr. Keep It on Sports," and I have been through all the years of political races or social issues, taking knees or protests or whatever it is. But I think you can see the difference here in this issue. It is the NBA. We have an NBA team. It is China. The owner of this NBA team in Memphis does most of his business as a hand-picked vendor with the communist Chinese. And we're on the eve of a Grizzly season. This is nowhere near not keeping it on sports. This is very much in the wheelhouse of sports. Would have to be
because
I'd have to be as much of amnesia afflicted as the NBA players not to address it.
I mean, honestly, if the dominoes keep falling, especially with Robert Parer's connection with China, I mean, who knows? Robert Parer could have to make the decision of, do I keep my team or do I keep my business in China? And
what if they booted him?
Exactly. I mean,
what does that do to his stock? What does that do to his net worth?
A ton. I mean, it could ruin him, and he'd have to pick between the NBA and the Grizzlies or his living and his company, and we could ultimately have a new owner here in Memphis.
And I know people are saying, and
that's a lot of dominoes down the road, but there's a domino.
And that's a lot of ifs, a lot of dominoes. A lot of what ifs, as I said, and I think it's extreme about the new owner part. But what if and how it starts? Look, when state-run communist TV pulls the plug while they're sitting there, while LeBron James and Adam Silver and the poobahs of the NBA are over there, and they're not caring, they're playing tough, they're playing brass knuckle for keeps. And as I said yesterday, if you think they're playing like this over the NBA, how would you like to be one of those cats in those trade negotiations trying to stare them down? Because they're not much for wilting, and they're not much for caring about your feelings.
No, and ultimately they hold all the cards. They don't need the NBA,
and it's one of the more oppressive governments in the history of mankind.
Because it's not like the people of China really get a big say at what's going on TV or not.
There are no fair and free elections, not at all. This portion of our show being brought to you in part by Williams Equipment Supply. They're your homegrown, locally owned, and #1 in compact construction equipment company. They've represented the Bobcat Company for 50 years. Bobcat Company is the industry leader in compact loaders and excavators. They support you can support American manufacturing. Buy, lease, or rent Bobcat equipment. Williams Equipment Supply is the largest compact equipment dealer in the Mid-South with 9 great locations. They have the largest inventory of equipment, attachments, and parts, the largest compact rental fleet, the best technicians, and the most locations. Whether you buy, rent, or lease, let Williams Equipment Supply help you out and get you what you need at a price you can afford. For our demonstration or more details, call Cody Bumpus, your North Mississippi Bobcat specialist. Here's Cody's cell, 901-508-8739. Or in Memphis, call Sam Watson. He's the Memphis area Bobcat specialist. Sam's cell is 901-326-64 Williams Equipment Supply, the largest compact equipment dealer in the Mid-South with 9 great locations. When we come back, we wrap up this Wednesday with Taco Bell Crunch Time. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through the midday with Sports 56 Middays. Delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
I love successes in business. 20 years ago, a guy named Matt Eflin decided when he graduated from the University of Memphis, he was going to get into the insurance business. And man, did he ever get into it. Now, he's got several offices around the area, all to protect you. The main one is in Bartlett, 8099 Stage Hills Boulevard. And the reason Matt is so successful, he's very young, but he's been so successful because he has a unique approach. He tries to have a one-on-one evaluation with each individual to check out their insurance needs. And he specializes in all types of insurance, personal insurance, business insurance. Basically, he sits you down and he asks you whether it's a business or whether it's your home, your family, what's the most important thing you want to protect? And then he figures out your options, collaborates with you, and voila, you're protected. 901-757-2315. That's the Eflin Insurance Group. The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical, not for sale to minors. Website restricted to adults 21 and over.
Let's be real. Most smokers aren't looking for some overcomplicated vaping machine. That's why we created My Blue. My Blue is simple. Our pre-filled liquid pods mean there's no mess. One charge and My Blue lasts all day. And with our range of flavors and nicotine options, you have a choice. My Blue answers on what matters for smokers. Real nicotine satisfaction. And right now, try My Blue for $1 at select retailers or myblue.com.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. Did you notice your water heater not heating as well last winter? During the cold winter months, the groundwater is colder and requires more energy to heat the water, and sometimes old, inefficient tanked water heaters just can't keep up. It may be time for a tankless water heater from Conway Services that never runs out of hot water. Conway Services is making now the perfect time for a new tankless water heater with 24 months to pay, interest-free. Or I'll pay you $250 for that old tanked water heater. Plus, these energy-saving models only heat the water you use, saving you money on your gas bill every month. And no more worrying about that tank bursting in your attic either. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier tankless water heater professionals at 384-3511. That's 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old water heater will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
And this corner is Bob, the Beast of Bar Graphs, using Dayquil Severe to face off against his cold. Bob's cold was coming at him from all sides. Head, chest, right nostril, left nostril. Oh, Dayquil Severe! What a game changer! He's out of his bed sheets, wrecking his spreadsheets, bodies slamming his sales reports. With Dayquil Severe, Bob's cold is out cold.
Dayquil Severe, the daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, sore throat, power through your day medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
This is Geraldo. It is crunch time.
You are looking live.
It's crunch time.
In your life have you seen anything like that?
We'll take questions again for the student athletes at this time, please.
He's a professional. He's pretty classy for his age.
In the crunch time, that's the frustrating part. Little Penny could make some appearances this year.
Okay, I'm not huge into stats.
Has it always been this way? It's crunch time, so I got a different mind state.
What's happening, big dog? How you doing?
Is this thing working?
Immediately when the buzzer sounds, he lets out this shriek.
He threw those ears forward. He was in stroke mode.
It's obviously crunch time.
Time for Taco Bell Crunch Time. Taco Bell, home of the crispy tortilla chips, topped with a double portion of either seasoned beef or shredded chicken, plus refried beans, nacho cheese sauce, reduced fat sour cream, guacamole, and a 3-cheese blend. Nachos Bel Grande, heaping portion of chips, topped with ground beef, tomatoes, beans, nacho cheese sauce, and a dollop of sour cream. Taco Bell, home to great food you get on your way home real fast, and they bring you crunch time every day. Drew, I learned today that the NBA, they've got to speak with one voice, and it's got to be the commissioner. And then after that, everybody else parrot exactly what he said. Don't deviate from it. You can't have any freelancers now. They got to get on the same page because this is not being handled. What'd you learn?
Learned today that baseball, it's crazy, and I definitely didn't see what the Cardinals did today in Game 5. The 10 runs in the first inning broke the MLB playoff record for most runs in the first inning of a playoff ball game.
13 runs with no home runs.
The previous record was 7, set by the Milwaukee Braves versus the Yankees in Game 2 of the 1958 World Series.
That was back-to-back World Series they played each other. Braves got them in 57. The Yankees paid them back in 58. What is it you could have done without today?
I could have done without. Jim Calhoun has been accused of sexual discrimination by a former associate athletic director at the University of St. Joseph's, the Division III school where Calhoun now works. The former AD filed the lawsuit Wednesday in the U.S. District Courts against the Catholic school, saying that it violated the Title IX and that once Calhoun was hired, that he, quote-unquote, turned it into a boys' club and kicked everybody else out.
I could have done without even bringing up the possibility of Dave Roberts playing tonight, managing tonight for his job, for his future. Maybe not immediate if he lost tonight or in the next few weeks, but next year, if he loses tonight, he doesn't need to get off to a slow start next year. The Dodgers aren't playing for let's get in the playoffs. They're playing to win it. It's been a long time since they have won it. I'm keeping a close eye on a lot tonight. Steven Strasburg's big moment, career-defining moment for him tonight. Pretty big one for Walker Buehler as well. Franchise-defining moment for the Nationals that have had a lot of heartbreak and potentially leaving the Dodgers reeling into the postseason. The Cardinals await. The Cardinals are going to win. It's now 13-1. The Braves have scored. College football tonight, a pretty good one. Undefeated Appalachian State at Louisiana Lafayette. Two great young coaches in that one, a battle of Malzahn and Saban disciples. Eli Drinkowitz for Appalachian State and Billy Napier with only one loss for Louisiana Lafayette. Both of those guys are going to be in bigger jobs sooner rather than later. Champagne's going to flow in a little bit in Atlanta for the Cardinals in the visitors clubhouse, and it will flow tonight at Dodger Stadium. Will it be in the home clubhouse or will it be in the visitors clubhouse with the Nationals finally having their moment? Dave will be back in here tomorrow. Drew, great job. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
For Drew, for Dave, I'm Brett. Everybody have a safe, happy Wednesday night. We'll be back in here tomorrow afternoon to do it again for you. Thank you for listening.
Hey everybody, this is Coach Penny Hardaway. There's a comfort in being home, and to me, comfort food and family makes Memphis the place to be, along with having the best basketball fans in America. I like pulling into Corky's and getting one of their family party packs. How can you go wrong with pork, beans, slaw, sauce, and buns for only $5.99 a person? It is so easy. I can call ahead, order online, or just pop in. Tailgating can't get any easier. Tell them Penny sent you.
Encore flavor, Corky's barbecue.
Hewlett & Dunn, nestled on Old Town Square in Collierville, has 4,000 square feet of the largest boot selection in 200 miles. International boot legends Luke Casey, Double H, Red Wing, Ariat, Justin, and Tony Lama. Hewlett & Dunn has rubber hunting boots,